Yeah.
I'm gonna post up.
Alright, I'm gonna let you guys go, though. Tona, lock in, bro.
No, let's go.
Wait, hold on. Can I just chop it up with her or what?
Yeah, chop it up.
Let's do the pizza. It's still 10 minutes though.
Let me send the stream.
And mini?
Let me send the
Hey,
stream.
let the stream, let me watch.
Exactly, I got you.
That's my crutch.
Bro, stop, bro. OBS is recording, bro.
You trying to watch my crutch?
Bro, stop. What's wrong with you?
Hey, for real, bro.
Yeah, for real. Alright, what's wrong with him, huh, Chris?
Why would you ever say that? Why would he ever say that?
Hey, I got 4 subscribers on the Look at Chris. 16K.
Oh, what's up, bro? I didn't even see you. What the hell? I'll see you, man.
Bro, what are you doing, bro?
This guy just snuck up on me, bro. Yeah, I did. See how
You Jacob Holland?
Hey, you see how? Hey, you see Jobster?
Yeah, dude.
Javi the Jobster?
I saw him earlier. That's why I sent everyone the things, because he asked me. He was like, yo, so when's our meeting tomorrow? I was like, hey.
I like that. I like that.
Who did Javi?
Hey, Loki, obviously, like, gonna be like the most tough one out of all of them. Not gonna lie.
You said that, you better drop. You jinxed it, bro.
Imagínate, loco.
You said that, bro. You jinxed it, bro. You jinxed it.
Imagínate, manito.
Is it lumbar spine? What? This guy blind in the whole surgery, bro. See that? Yeah, for my lumbar spine, I'm gonna get 5 to 6 epidural face block injections, so I'm gonna be feeling tough for a couple days.
Yeah.
Nah, what is that?
Yo, bro, it tastes like I'm eating straight bark, bro, from like elementary school.
Like if you need someone to stretch out your back, I'm here.
I like that.
Nah, that's wild, bro.
It's true though.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
gonna ask Jody to do it. I'm gonna ask Jody to do it for him.
but like, if you need someone to roll that out, just let me know. I'm in Half Dome.
Hey. You know, even he's in LA, gang.
If you need someone to blow it out, I'm here.
Bro, hey, you need someone? Jordy's only 20-minute drive from you.
What did you say?
Just let him know that Jordy's only 20 minutes from him. And Jordy's gonna hit him with that double clap back.
Hey, bro, I had an interview today. But yeah, it was 4 p.m. Eastern time, though. They actually played me. He was like, hey, it's good though, we can reschedule.
Hey, I don't know.
Bro, you know 4 p.m. Eastern time is 1 p.m.? I was like, nah, what is this?
You're selling, bro.
I was actually so pressed.
Oh, it happened to me one time. Now I always look at that, make sure it says PST, Pacific Standard Time.
I was actually so pressed. Like, why is this guy New York timing, bro? Like, what is that?
I'm professional.
No, but he was cool with it. He was like, yeah, just set up another interview on my time.
Alright, I gotta go, guys. I'll chop it up with her. I sent the stream. Some water real quick. Meta. Hello, hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, nice.
How's it going, Nevaeh?
I'm pretty tired. I
Oh
was
man,
sleeping.
I'm sorry to
I
hear that.
fell
I'm sorry to hear
asleep.
that. What time do you usually sleep at again?
I get tired at 7 p.m., but I procrastinate a bit, so I have work that I need to do, so it ends up
Mm,
going a bit longer.
I
Around
see.
10 p.m., I would
Okay,
say.
for sure, for sure. What time do you usually wake up at?
6 or 7.
Oh, okay. Oh, you
Yeah.
wake up early then. That's why.
Yes.
That makes
Yeah,
sense. That
I
makes sense.
have
Okay. Hey,
to.
that's good though. I'm assuming you're productive, right?
Yeah, I
There you
try
go.
to be.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know it's been a while since we talked. You know, it's been what, like maybe a few weeks. I've just been like swarmed with like midterms, finals, things like that. Um,
Yeah.
I know you said you had like AP testing, right?
Oh yeah, I had my AP macroeconomics testing last Friday, and then I have my AP pre-calc testing tomorrow.
Wait, macroeconomics?
Yeah.
I just had my macroeconomics final, and I'm like,
Oh wow.
whew, like I'm
I
praying that I did good because like man, I need like a blessing, like because I am like that class. I got like a C, so like I need to get a C or
mm,
higher to like pass it because like
yeah.
C
Well, I
minus is
tr-
like passing. So like anything lower than that, I got to retake it. But I feel
yeah.
like I did really good on it. I studied, I put the time, I put the effort in. I probably should
Hmm.
have done that more like in between the school year, but I just
Yeah.
wasn't really prioritizing it. But no, yeah. I mean, you know, it's good, you know, to actually finally talk to you again. You'll see you.
Yeah, it
But
is. Yeah.
yeah, you know, my business partner, he's gonna join maybe shortly. I'll let you know when he joins in. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just curious. You know, like I know you read the book. I wanted to ask you, did you get a chance to watch the second video I sent you, or the video I sent you?
Oh no, not yet.
Oh, okay, for
Not
sure, for
yet.
sure. No, you're good, you're good. I just wanted to send it to you just, you know, to like in advance and just, you know, like after you finish reading the book.
Okay.
You could probably watch, I'd say maybe like after this meeting, it would maybe like connect the dots a lot more.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but that's actually a video that really impacted me. It's from our mentor Phil, and you know he kind of talks about, you know, like why employees can't build business, and not necessarily employees like the person, but like why someone with an employee mindset can't build a business because most likely, you know, they're gonna fail. Um,
Mm.
because I mean, like what most small businesses end up failing. It's like what, like 98% of them. But that's kind of off topic. But yeah, I mean, I kind of just want to, you know, like ask them like how you've been, you know, like how's school going, like how's your Mother's Day. I just want to kind of catch up, you know, just for a little bit.
Okay. Well, I've been sick, so haven't
Man,
been feeling that
no.
well.
You said you had like
I've just
strep
been
throat, right?
trying. Yeah, I've just been trying to recover, honestly. So I didn't go
Mm,
to school today because I did at first, but because my school they have it where now for seniors,
mm-hmm.
if you miss more than 7 days total in like the whole year, then you can't walk the
Wait, how
stage.
many have you missed?
I'm 7. Yeah, because it's throughout the whole year. So it's like I have doctor's appointments or other things, or I get sick or something like that, but they don't excuse those. So it's like a really bad rule because almost every single senior has had to, like, if we miss more than 7 days, then we have to appeal our attendance and do community service hours. It's just horrible.
Wait, so they don't like excuse you even if you're sick, like with the doctor's note?
It's very weird. Well, with the doctor's note, I hope those are excused.
I
But
believe so. I mean, did you get one though or no?
yeah, I've made sure to get them
Okay.
recently, but before, because I if they say that I have 7 days absences, then I'm like, I don't even, those were so long ago that I don't even remember what happened on that day.
Yeah.
So I just have to, well, today I made sure I talked to the assistant principal to make sure that if I missed today, that it wouldn't go against me. So now I have to turn in hours, community service hours, so
Do you know
I
how
can
many it
get this
is? Like
day
in
cleared.
like for the exchange?
No, but I worked on I worked on making my school centennial exhibition,
Mm.
and that was like 60 hours, so I'm gonna just try to turn that in.
Mm. Okay. Okay. No, yeah, that's good. So you kind of
Mhm.
already like have it planned out. All right, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
but
good.
other than that, I've just been chilling really. I haven't had much schoolwork to do, even though studying for my finals. I've been for my math class, I've just been trying to focus on passing the math class
Mm.
instead of the final because I'm kind of struggling. My grade's kind of low. It's kind of low in
Mm.
math, but I'm
I see.
trying
I
my
see.
best. But for the rest of my classes, they're easy. I have A's or I don't have anything that I have to worry about. Yeah, I've
That's
been
good.
good. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Wait. So when you get out like officially from school?
On Mondays, I get out at 3:36. On Tuesdays, I get out at 2:36. And then the rest of the days, I get out at 3:36, unless there's a change to the schedule. So
Mm.
Tuesdays are early days. You get out an hour early.
Okay, for sure. No, but like, when do like you end? Like, cause like or summer,
Oh, June 10th.
June 10th.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it's like a month.
like, yeah, I've been counting down the
You like
days.
you got it on the
I have
calendar like
I
marking
have
marking
a
them
I have a
down.
countdown on my phone.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Okay, that actually reminds me back when I was in high school. I had like a little countdown thing, like on like my little app. I was like, going on, like, I'm almost in summer.
I can't wait. Can't
Yeah.
wait for that day.
Okay, my business partner actually joined right now. I'm gonna let him in, but
Okay.
yeah, no pressure. This isn't like an interview or like that. He just pretty much like literally like how I got to know you like the first time. That's pretty much. He just
Hmm.
wants to get to know you, kind of maybe ask you a few questions, like where you're from, like what are your hobbies, things like
Okay.
that. But I mean, we've kind of
Okay.
already talked about those things, like what you're doing programs, you're doing bands, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
no, yeah. I mean, Tona, we were kind of just catching up a little bit. I wanted to introduce you to Nevaeh. Not sure if you're. Oh, there he is. But
Hello, how are you?
I am doing good. How are
Doing
you?
good. I'm doing great. How's your day so far?
Well, I'm sick, so I've been trying to recover.
Oh
So
man.
kind of slow, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry to hear that. That
And
sucks.
thank you.
Is it Nevaeh?
Yes, it is.
Nevaeh, nice to meet you.
It's
I
nice
heard
to
a
meet
little bit
you.
about you from Chris. Also, I love your hair. I love how it's two
Thank you so
color.
much. Thank you.
Really cool. Yeah. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from California, but specifically Los Angeles in Mid-City, and I've been here my whole life. Yeah,
Oh, wait. What part of Los Angeles?
Mid-City.
Mid City. Where is that? I haven't heard of that one before.
Honestly, like right in the middle of Los Angeles, like Mid-City. Yeah,
Oh,
like right in
okay.
the middle.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, so you're kind of right in the middle of LA. Then.
like
Okay.
Mhm.
like downtown.
Well, yeah, I was like, never heard of that one before. Yeah, I'm not from SoCal. I'm from the Bay Area, so I'm from San Jose. I know you think you might have heard a little bit from Chris. He's more from like the San Francisco area.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's nice to meet you. I did hear a little bit about you, Chris, about how you're going through our selection process, right?
Yes.
And I'm curious to know, what kind of caught your interest, when it came to this business opportunity and when it came to meeting Chris.
Well, to this business opportunity, I'm about to graduate high school and I'm about to go to UC Merced. So
Oh,
I'm I'm just really looking for when I saw Christopher's message, I was like, at first I was a bit skeptical because on my LinkedIn profile, I didn't have anything on there. So I was like, why is he reaching out to me? But after I talked with it to my mom, I thought about it. I was like, well, maybe this opportunity could be helpful to me. And I don't know much, I don't know anything about business, like this whole
mm,
business world, but I know that it's like if you as once you understand it, that's like the best way to be able to build a strong foundation for yourself and make money. So if this opportunity presented itself to me, so I was like, I'll try to take advantage of it as much as I can. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's great to hear. You said you were in high school still, right?
Yes, I
So
am.
you're
Yes.
graduating. Are you graduating in like this year?
Yes, I'm graduating in June 10th.
Oh, okay. And you said you were
Very
going to UC
soon.
Merced, right? Why?
Yes.
Why UC Merced?
Well, it wasn't my first choice. My first
I
choice
can't
was
imagine it's anybody's first.
My first choice was UCLA because it's
Oh,
20 minutes away from where I live, so that's just
oh,
be the best school for me.
uh-huh.
But I didn't get into UCLA, and I applied to UC Irvine, UC San Diego, and
Hmm.
UC yeah, those two I didn't get into. I applied to
Mm,
UC Riverside, I got in. And Merced, I actually didn't apply to Merced at all on my original UC application,
uh-huh.
but I got an email a couple of weeks after like the UC application was due that gave me the opportunity to add UC Merced onto my application for free. So I was
Hmm.
like, why not? If it's free, I'll do it. And then I got in a couple of days later and I was like, oh, UC Merced might be the school. And as it kept going on, and after I got my all my letters from every school, and then it was down to UC Merced or UC Riverside. And for UC
Mm,
Merced, the major I want to do is bioengineering. So they accepted
Um,
bioengineering specifically. So I was like, okay. And then the financial aid as well. Then so I was like, you
okay.
see, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. I feel like that's the biggest reason why a lot of people decide to go to UC Merced is
Mm.
because of that financial aid, right? And I was gonna ask, and you said you wanted to study in biomedical, right? You said
Or bioengineering. Yeah.
bioengineering.
Mm.
Okay. So what do you plan on doing, with that career path?
Well, I would hope to first, once I graduate, if I've done some internships during my college years, then I could possibly work with a biotech company or maybe a hospital
Mm,
and make tech for them. And then once I've set up my career foundation doing that, then the goal would be to start my own biotech business and make my own
mm,
sort of technology to really help anybody in the world.
okay. And what made you want to pick that major?
Well, I figured it out what I wanted to do pretty late. I think in 11th grade. At
Mm-hmm.
first, when I was younger, I wanted to be a singer or performer
Mm-hmm.
because I played the clarinet. I've been playing the clarinet since I was in third grade. So it was kind of like, I'm so good at that. So I might go into doing that. And then singing, I like to do that as well. But I realized that I need to have something that, like, once I was going through high school, I was like, I need to have something that's concrete, something that can be an actual career for me and that I can make
Mm-hmm.
money off. So I I've naturally leaned towards STEM my whole life. I've always been a quick learner, quick thinker. In school, my science classes were always my favorite classes. But I knew that I wouldn't like to be in like the hospital as like a nurse or a
Mm-hmm.
doctor because that would be way too stressful for me. I would not be able to handle that. I'd probably quit my first day on the job. I can't do that. But I wanted to see things that would be more in the back or laid back. So then I started
Mm-hmm.
researching specific fields in STEM that I could find. And I was talking to my advisors, my from my programs about it. And I ended up being led to the field of bioengineering. And if I'm able to make products that can help people, help communities, I can give back
Mm-hmm.
to my community while also making money. I can do two great things and I can do what I love. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's a perfect field for me.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And it's funny that you say that, it was kind of late, kind of deciding what you wanted to do, because I mean, nowadays I've seen people already get into college and,
Mm,
already start their major and not even know, what it is that they want to do.
yeah,
So I wouldn't say it was completely so late, but it's good that you already have kind of an idea
yes.
of what exactly it is that you want to do. So now I'm
Mm.
curious to know, how does business kind of, go in with that, right? Like, how do you see, let's say this business opportunity aligned with your goals?
Well, because the why this opportunity would align with the part of my goal where I would branch off and start my own business. Because I have like no one in my family, we don't own businesses.
Mm,
We don't have financial literacy like that. So I knew once I got into college, I was gonna have to figure out how to get some sort of business resources, some sort of business
Mm.
opportunities to help me be able to put that part of my goal into plan. So I hope that if this business opportunity works, then it would be able to help me achieve that goal of starting my own business one day.
okay. Yeah, no, that's great to hear. That you see, this is kind of something that can play alongside with that, because I mean, I don't hear too many times when people want to start their own business, especially in, let's say, in bio, or any kind of small business, because a lot of the times that people don't really understand what it takes to start a business, not just
Mhm.
start a business, but maintain one and grow one to
Mm.
eventually, hopefully, make profit. Because the truth is that most small businesses nowadays, they don't even make profit. Some of them don't even
Yeah.
break even. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit hard. So do you kind of have an idea of what it looks like for you? I know you mentioned a little bit about wanting to work for certain top companies and eventually start up your own business in that field. Do you kind of have like a game plan on what that really looks like?
Honestly, no, I don't.
Mm,
Because I'm just, I'm so, I'm the person in my family to go to college, so we don't
Mm,
have any resources like that to people in college.
Mm.
It's really just
uh-huh,
I'm kind of going in head first and just trying to find everything on my own. I
uh-huh.
don't have an idea how it is, but I'm gonna try my best to figure out how it will look
Okay.
like.
Yeah, because I mean, when you have like that game plan and kind of an idea of what it looks like, then you can really understand, how difficult and everything that goes into starting something like that, right? Because a lot of people say, they want to start a business, they want to do whether it's in bio or whatever clothing brand, restaurant or whatever it is. It's easy to have the idea that you want to start the business, but it's not so easy to have everything, all the capabilities, all the capital to actually get started with that. Because if I were to ask, let's say you, for example, I say, do you know how much money it would take to be able to start up a business like that? Would you know?
Probably a lot of money, a
A
lot of
lot, right?
money. Yeah.
But it's not really an exact amount, because when you do know the exact amount, you would understand how much money it would take from working your job to be able to get that. How much money you would need to earn from your side hustle, your business on the side, to be able to get there. And once you're clear on what exactly that looks like, is when you'll be able to see how difficult it really is. Because I mean, we have business partners from like all different backgrounds, from bio, from engineering, from the medical field. That's actually an example that I want to use. One of my
Mhm.
business partners, his goal, he actually went to go to UC Merced as well. He actually studies in the medical field, and his goal is to open up a clinic for himself eventually,
Mm.
and then eventually start up his own hospital, which is, I think, very similar to you in the sense that what he's doing,
Yeah.
what he likes, helping people, and also making some pretty good money, until he realized what it actually takes to get into that. Because I mean, in order to start a clinic, it's a lot of money. I can't remember exactly how much, but in order to make that much in terms of working, he would probably have to work for about 40 years to start his own clinic. Not We're not even talking about a hospital yet. The hospital is
Yeah.
just even more. But just the
Yeah.
clinic itself, it'll take around 40 years of
Mhm.
working. And that's with what, using your youth to study, to go to medical school, to study and, get in the books and things like that. So it really makes you question yourself on, when these career paths, what it takes to get to these certain points is really, I wouldn't say worth it, but I would say, is there a better option? Because for me, I'll tell you a little bit from my example. I'm a college student right now. I'm actually finishing up my degree in finance. But
Like,
my original goal was to start my own accounting firm, which is
Mm.
similar because I actually wanted to be a CPA, a certified public accountant, because I mean the reason for that was not because I like numbers, but is because I wanted to make a lot of money.
mhm.
And on top of that, I wanted to be financially free, meaning I wanted to start my own firm so I can start making some passive income. Until I realized not just how long it would take for me working as a CPA, and that's assuming I can get my CPA license. That's assuming I can, qualify for that job. It'll take me around like what 20, no, probably 30 to 40 years to eventually start and save up to start my own firm.
Mm.
And if you know anything about the lifestyle of an accountant, yeah, it's a lot of working, a lot of
Mhm.
mental stress, and not much opportunity for me to grow my values and all these other aspects of life that I was really a lot more focused on aside from just money. And that's
Mhm.
all not something I thought of myself, because growing up, I just wanted to make a lot of money.
Mhm.
So it made me, when you asked me when it came to starting my own business, it's not because I like business, to be honest. I do study in business. I'm a business major, but I can be real that I don't really like business. I don't do it because I like it. I do it because I need it. Because I understand that if I wanted to, let's just say not even an accounting firm, if I just wanted to live here in California, I
Yeah,
would
crazy
need a lot
expensive.
more. Exactly, right?
Crazy.
I know SoCal is very expensive, especially if you're in the
Yes.
heart of LA. Yeah, very
Yes.
expensive. And we're over here in the Bay Area. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not we can we're on the same page. So you don't even one source of income, you can't even survive here. So I always understood that I needed two sources of income. So I was the type of guy to try different side hustles and things like that. Like my main thing was actually investing. It was actually day trading. I did that for about 2 years. Actually, when I was in high school, in my senior year as well. So those are the type of things I was doing because I needed another source, another stream of income to help me. But those types of things didn't work out. So it really made me question what business model, what business opportunity, what vehicle can take me to where I want to go the fastest. And that's how, you see me and Chris today building up our network marketing business and trying to scale it up because I mean, using some common sense, I've pretty much learned how this is probably one of the best vehicles that I can take. So before I get into that, I wanted to ask, has Chris sent you any material that you may have read or listened to up to this point?
Yes, he sent me a book of basically just going over what network marketing is, and then he sent me a
Oh,
video from one of your partners as well. But I haven't gone over
uh-huh.
the video, but I've read the book.
Oh, okay. So you read the book. Is it
Yes,
Business of a 21st Century
yes,
or
it
is
is. Yes,
it
that's what it's called. Yeah.
okay. Well, what did you think about that book?
Well, it was definitely, I learned a lot from the book because I don't have any previous knowledge in the business
Uh-huh.
world. And it was when I first said what network marketing is, it was very hard to wrap my head around it because I was
Uh-huh.
like, how do these people make money like this? And if they don't have like a paycheck or it's like there's no set schedule, there's not
Uh-huh.
exactly a boss. It's like it was everything that went against what I thought I knew about business. But
Uh-huh.
as I kept reading, it made more sense. I had to read it over a couple times. It made
Mm-hmm.
more sense to me. And I do still would like you guys to explain it to me so I can make sure that I
Uh-huh.
understand exactly what it is because it's
Uh-huh.
confusing. But I liked the book. Yeah, I learned a lot from it, and network marketing sounds pretty cool.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now that kind of helps a lot. Hear that you already read that book because
Mhm.
that book was written by a famous author. His name is Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a lot of books. There's a more famous one that he wrote. It's called The Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm not sure if you heard of it before. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a lot more famous one that he wrote, but he also wrote that one called Business of the 21st Century. And I like that one a little bit more because it does talk in detail about network marketing, which is the business
Mhm.
model that we use. And, getting to hear it from his perspective as a guy, who's ran multiple businesses before, tried many things, many different career paths, as why it was the one that was beneficial for him. So when I first read that book, yeah, it gave me a lot of clarity, of a better understanding of what network marketing actually entails. But at the same times, it raised a lot of questions to me because I also didn't understand, how can people succeed doing something like this? How exactly does this, for me, it was like, how exactly can this compare to, let's say, other traditional business models, or let's say working that traditional path of working for a big company, saving up to eventually have enough capital to start investing. It didn't make a lot of sense to me until, I kind of had all those numbers and game plans broken down for me. So that's kind of a little bit of what I wanted to share with you. Um, because yeah, I think or let me ask you, after reading the book, did you have any questions or any thoughts after reading?
Um, well, I guess my main question is just for clarification on exactly like what would a individual contractor do? Like what do they do
Mm-hmm.
in network
Okay.
marketing?
Okay. That's kind of like the main question that you had.
Yeah, let me check my notes. Try to remember.
Mm. So yeah, that we'll definitely talk about a little bit more right
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's just the main question that I had.
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, before we talk a little bit more about, how exactly network marketing works, I did want to, talk a little bit more about some mindset behind it because, I mean, when it comes to starting a network marketing business, or not just a network marketing business, but any type of business, it's kind of where you have to have a different type of mindset to succeed doing something like that. Because I already kind of picked it up from what you said earlier, how you noticed that, a network marketing business is where you don't get a paycheck, where
Mm-hmm.
if you put and not just a network marketing business, but literally any other business out there, it's completely different than what we're taught. Because I mean, what were some of those things you were taught growing up? To work hard for your money, right? Like go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people told you growing up that you needed to get good grades so you can get in a good college, so you can get a good job, so you can make some good money, right? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
So when it comes to, like I said, starting, this is basically what I'm talking about right here, which is somebody's money blueprint. And what that means is, what is your game plan to make, spend, invest money? But how is that determined from someone? It's determined by, like I mentioned before, all these little things that you were told growing up, all these little things that you saw, right? Like for me, for example, I grew up, I saw my parents, you know, not being able to spend so much time with me. Why? Because they need to go out and make a lot of money. So
Mm-hmm.
then that's where I had this mindset. When I go to my job and I spend 6 to 8 to 12 hours of my time, I'm gonna be paid for it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not that way for everything, right? Because like I mentioned before, when it comes to a business, or let's just start with a small business, you get paid last. Any money that you make in a business will go back to that business
Mm-hmm.
to scale it up, right? Okay, any money left after that, where will it go? To your employees, to any labor costs that you have. After all that, now any profit that you are left with, if there is any left, can go to you,
Mm-hmm.
meaning what you get paid last. And a lot of people aren't able to endure that. A lot of people aren't able to go through times like that, very little money in their pockets after spending so much time into a business. But, because they weren't able to withstand that, they don't get to reap the benefits. Where, let's say, few years, 5, 6, 7 years, however long it is, depending on your business model, where you can really reap the benefits of a successful growing business. But the truth is, not many people are willing to do something like that. So I hope we're on the same page with that here, that we understand that business takes a long time. Right? It's not
Yeah.
something that people are just gonna get rich quick and walk away from their job. Sure, my mentor was able to do that, but what people didn't see was the amount of work that he put in to be able to get to that point. And
Mm-hmm.
not many people are willing to do the same. So that's where I kind of want to make sure that people have the right expectation on what exactly it looks like to start and grow a business. Um, but I can go ahead and talk a little bit more about that here. Have you ever seen these cash flow quadrants before?
Yes, they were in the book. It was my
Okay,
first time
so
seeing something like that.
okay,
Yeah.
how well is your understanding of it? Can you go ahead and try and like explain it to the best of your ability?
Um, well, employee is someone who works for a company that their time equals money, but they have to work more to make more money. So if they don't work, they don't get money. And a self-employed person, they're either they have their own business or they're a small business owner. Um, that's all I know about that one. Then
Mm,
investors, they use their money to invest, uh, but they're smart about it, I think.
mm,
Then business owner, that's like in the book, he said that that was kind of the best one because they have their whole like business set up and they're just looking for ways to make more and more money. So
mm.
yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you, which quadrant are you currently in?
Uh, I don't. Well, I guess employee because I'm gonna
Right.
start working in the summer. So
Yeah, so you're gonna start working, and even what you're going to school, right, to get a
Yes.
degree. I imagine you plan on getting a job after. So
Yes.
yeah, you're gonna end up in the employee quadrant, like the rest of us, right? I'm currently
Yeah.
in the employee quadrant. I actually just got off of work from earlier today. But now let me ask you, which quadrant do you want to be in?
A business owner.
A business owner. Okay, why a business owner?
Well, that one makes the most money, but also, like, if I become a business owner, I'll be able to help my family as well and give us more money, and I'll be able to help my community and my friends as well.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because one thing it will give you is more money. Well, maybe not more money, but it'll give you, well, yeah, it'll probably give you more money. But a more important commodity that it will give you, and it's kind of what you mentioned a little before, gives you that ability to do the things you like, give back to
Mhm.
people, and all that is possible with time. Because for me, when it comes to choosing what type of business I should run, what type of career path I should do, it's not just about how much money I make, but how much time I make. Because
Mhm.
I can make $1 million, lose it, make it back. But if I lose 10 hours of my time, it's gone, right? So I'm not just looking on different ways on how I can make money, but how I can free myself. And this is something that people aren't very familiar with. I think you've seen from the types of things you saw growing up is that people just go to work, spend their time there, go back home, do the same thing the next day. And I don't know
Mhm.
about you, but for me, that never appealed to me, right?
Yeah,
That
I
was never
hate that.
something that I was looking for, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I understood that I needed something more. And I actually wanted to go back to this slide right here because, I mean, to understand if you want something more, like I said, you kind of want to be a crystal clear on what exactly it is that more looks like. Because if you told me that you were looking to give back to your family, I would ask you back, what does giving back look like? How
Mhm.
much money do you need to give back? Right? Because you can give back by paying the bills, paying the rent, washing the dishes. You could also give back
Mhm.
by retiring your mom, retiring your dad. So there's different levels to it. And if you're not crystal clear on what exactly it looks like, then you won't really know how to get there. And I want to talk about my own example again, because like I said before, I wanted to be a CPA because a CPA can make a lot of money.
Yep.
But after the money, what's next? Because as a CPA, I have no freedom. As a CPA, I
Mhm.
have no opportunity to personally grow myself. I have no opportunity to spend time with my family. Why? Because I'm always working, right? Like I said, it's this time that's important. What impact and legacy can I leave behind as a CPA? Because I'm spending time counting other people's money. I
Mhm.
want to count my own money,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's no valuable relationships that I can make. There's no time for my fitness, no time for my entertainment. So if I took that career path, I could what? Just get the finance. And
Mhm.
eventually, after what, like 40 years of working, I can start my own firm. And now I still don't have time for anything because I have to build up that firm. I have to maintain it, right? So now, maybe after another 20 years, now I'll have time with my family. When
Mhm.
what? I'm 60 years old. Is my family still here? I wish they will be, but most
Yeah.
likely they won't be, right? So it made me realize that I needed something else. So now this is where I combine business on top of it. Because yes, I can still work. I don't want to be a CPA anymore because accounting kind of hurts my head, right? I'm more interested in banking right now. I'm going into sales for that. I work in sales right now, so now that I'm clear on how much what it looks like to give back. Like I said, first I want to retire myself. Second, I want to retire my family. Third, I want to buy them a big house, $1 million home they can live in here in California. So
Mhm.
now I can work backwards from there. How much money does that house cost? How much money
Mm-hmm.
do I need to pay in a down payment? How much money until I can pay it off? Second, what are my mom's expenses? What are my dad's living expenses? So I know how much money it would take to cover that. So once it's all covered, that's when they can retire. Then, what are my expenses? How much does my cost of living look like? So once I can cover all that, now I'm retired. So then working backwards from there, okay, so I need this much money. How much can I make from my job? How much can I make from my business? And you can see how I'm very clear on that. And that's because I know exactly where it is that I want to go. So that's how easy it is to see what's the best option. And most importantly, what's not the best option, but will
Mhm.
take me longer to get there. And what will take me longer is just going to school blindly, just trying to get my degree and hopefully get a job after, when I think we're all very well aware of what the job market looks like
Yeah.
now. So it's only getting harder for us, right? Like that's why I said, people definitely need that second source of income. So I think after today, I think you should really think deeper, like be crystal clear on how you want to live your life, not what you want to do, but how you want to live. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So back to this, which is the cash flow quadrants. I feel like I said, I feel like you read the book, right? You were
Yes.
very confidently wanting to be in the B quadrant, but
Yes.
not many people know that that's even an option.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth is, around like 5% of people find themselves on this right side making passive income, while about 95% of people find themselves on this left side making active income. So if passive income is so great, like I said, the opportunity to make time and money, why aren't more people getting that? Why are so many people still stuck on this left side? What do you think?
Well, in the book, it mentioned that there's different types of people. Like some people, they don't know what they want. They don't have like a crystal clear view of their goal,
Mm-hmm.
so they can't even. If they don't even know like what they want to do, then they can't obviously make passive income or be a business
Mm-hmm.
owner. Um, or they don't know about it, or they don't understand how to get there, or it's too hard,
Mm-hmm.
or there's some other circumstances in their life where they can't do it. Maybe they have to take care
Mm-hmm.
of kids or something like that. Or yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, you're very accurate in the sense that it's when people don't know what they want. They don't know what they're doing. That's when they don't know that something like this can be a better option for them. They don't know what they want. They don't know what it takes to get there. Like it's so easy
Mhm.
for some people to say that, hey, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna find a job, save up my money to build something in the future. But what they don't see is everything in between that. Like, let's say they go to school. Can they find a job after graduating? Because most people nowadays can't. Okay, now they're able to find a job. What they don't think of is, can I keep that job? Because now, so many layoffs with outsourcing, you never know when there's going to be another pandemic. There
Yeah.
you go. Can you even keep your job? And then how long will you have to work that job to be able to, you know, uh, transition into another quadrant? Which some people think, oh yeah, I'm about 5 to 10 years. I'm smart with my money. I don't spend much. But when, let's say mom gets hospitalized or dad gets an injury, who's gonna pay for their hospital bills?
Mhm.
Right? People don't factor that in, but that's something real that they have to think about. And because they didn't want to think of these worst case scenarios, and I'm not saying that to be just like somebody so negative, right? I'm real, right? Like these are things that people don't even see until it happens to them, and by the time it happens to them, it's too late. They already didn't prepare enough, and they have to go spend all of their savings to save their parents or
Mhm.
to live off their savings because they couldn't find a job. So it's all these things that people don't really think about. The reason most people get stuck in the employee quadrant is because they think that's all there is to it, right? They think that their life is only can only be that 25, $30 an hour, right? They think their life, and even it could be more than that. Like I said, if you're a doctor, right, you're still in this employee quadrant. If you're an engineer, you're still in this employee quadrant. Sure, you're probably making a lot more money, but I can guarantee you that you don't have a lot of time.
Mhm.
And this is where people say that I didn't get to spend so much time with mom. I didn't get to spend so much time with dad because they were always working. And for some people, they're okay with that, right? They like working. But like I said, it was never something that appealed to me. I was more focused on how I can make time for myself. So when I'm looking at these two quadrants, I'm not going to talk so much about the investor quadrant. That's where I want to be, but you need a lot of money to transition into this quadrant. Like, yeah, money makes money, and you know, I'm a broke college student. I don't have a lot of money, so I don't think it's something I can do right now. But it's the vision that I see. Right, once I'm able to scale up my business to the point where I can walk away from it and still have it make me money, I can use some of that capital to transition to the investor quadrant. That's my plan, which is, you know, more for like, you know, what I'm focused on. But like I said, before I get there, I need to grow my successful business first. And you can see there's two different ways to do that. What do you think is the difference between the S and the B quadrant? They're both business owners,
I was
right?
actually
Both.
just thinking about that. I had that question in
Uh-huh.
my mind. I guess self-employed, like the money that they make has to go towards the business. So
Mm-hmm.
they can't use that
So,
money.
so that yeah, that's the truth of it. But that's the
Yeah.
thing that people don't really see, right?
Mm.
That's the part people don't like. Like most people, they want to get into this S quadrant because either they hate their boss or they want something for themselves. Like, do you know any small business owners?
Um, I guess I don't know if like kids in my school like they do nails or hair. Does that count?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that does
Yeah.
count. Yeah,
Yep.
that's small business.
Yeah.
Nails, hair. I know some people they do like shoe reselling, clothes, a small clothing brand, or a little
Yeah.
coffee shop, whatever service. Like if I went out on the street selling my drawings, and yeah, that's small business too.
Yeah.
And you know these people, you know, they own the job, right? They don't have a boss they have to report to. They don't have a strict schedule that they have to work every so often, unless you run a restaurant, a traditional business, and work on business hours. But other than that, you pretty much own your job. But like you said, the ugly truth is the job actually owns you, which
Mm.
means that what? In order to make that money, you need to be the first one in and the last one out.
Last one out.
Because if I was a barber, right, I'm not gonna be able to make any money if I'm not cutting someone's hair.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, it's simple, right? If I'm not there opening my business, who else is going to? No one, right? Maybe a few employees that I can hire, but I still have to pay them, right? Like I said, I get paid last. The business gets paid first, then my employees, then whatever's left, I get paid last. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to add in, like my dad, he's a small business owner. He has his own taco truck, and he's the first one in. And, yeah, he makes a good amount of money, but, he has to put it back into his taco truck to get more products, get more food to give to people, pays his employees, and then, he gets what's last of it. And he's the last one out. So he wakes up, 6 a.m., goes, clocks in, drives to the truck, starts everything up, cooks the food, gets everything prepared, starts at like 8, 9 ish around there. And then he's there till like 8 to 9, and then like he has to go close the truck up, clean everything back up, prepare it for the next day, and then he's like leaving by like 11 or 12, and he just does that cycle every single day, like 6 days a week. So it's like it kind of sucks, seeing my dad do that. Like at first it was nice, it's like a family business, but over time, like you start to realize, yeah, you own the business, but the business really owns you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the type of thing that people don't see. Because, I mean, even if you are able to start, let's say, a biotech business, it's the same thing, right? Being able to start from the ground up and having to invest so much into it right away. And most people, they don't see that. They get started anyways. So go ahead, like, yeah, I'll go ahead and start my business. I'll figure it out along the way until what? They've spent 5, 10, 15 years in that business to only realize, I've lost more money than I made, or I've only broken even so far. Because the truth is, that's what most businesses are like. But I think the difference between the two in the S quadrant. And this is something very important that I look for in a business model. And it's something I'm going to talk about a little bit more on, because network marketing has a lot of it, which is scalability, which is how can I take this small business and expand it to the point where it can run without me being there. And that's the name of the game when it comes to this B quadrant, because now you're not just so focused on building your own business, you're focused on building a system, building something that can work without you being there. My favorite example is Steve Jobs, because Steve Jobs has been dead for a long time.
Yep.
But every single year, they still come out with a new iPhone. I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy. How do they do that? Because if you look at Steve Jobs, he didn't understand everything about his business, to be honest. He didn't know everything about the software development, the manufacturing, the advertisement, product development. He didn't know everything. But the people who knew more than him worked with him. And now it's not just his 24 hours used to scale up a business, but it's multiple people's 24 hours to build a system. And
Yep.
that's how that system can continue to run today.
Without him.
And that's how, as long as you're able to build it the right way, I should be able to, book my ticket, go to Europe, my business can still make me money, right? I can still sleep in or do things I like let's say spend a month with my mom, take her on a trip somewhere. I could be able to do that and still understand, will my business still make me money? Because that's my end. So I think we're all clear that we want to make that passive income, right? It's all something that we want, right? Here I'm just talking a little bit more about why most people don't have it. Like, it's so great. Why don't people most have it? Again, it's because you were programmed to work for your money. Not many people told you growing up, like, hey, Nevaeh, you should go learn how to make passive income, right?
No one told
And
me
no
that.
one really told you. They just told you, go to school, go get a good job, go to good college, get a good life. But that's not exactly what good life. Even look at the perspective. Look what those people, the people telling you that, look where they're at, and ask yourself, do you want their life? A lot of the times, I wouldn't. Not because their life is so terrible that I wouldn't want it. No, not that. It's just for me and the life that I want to live. I would want more time. I would want more flexibility to do the things that I love. And a lot of people, I see this thing that a lot of people lack, but I see it's the one thing that my mentor doesn't lack. So that's why I decided to listen to him and have him guide me through his experiences so I can have what he has. Another thing, it's not a subject in school. That's something I always talk about. Since I was day trading back in high school, I actually wanted to major in the stock market. I was like, which major taught you that? Until I found out none of them did. Even if you knew you wanted to make passive income, it's not an option. Schools let you choose from. So it's kind of something you have to figure out on your own. The first time I realized that I wanted to make passive income, I was very young. That's when I got started into day trading, because I would watch these videos, YouTube videos of these rich investors, and they were always like, "Oh, my biggest regret was not investing sooner." So I'm like, if I get started right now, I'm gonna get ahead of everybody, right? But that's just what you see on the internet, like the surface level things. But not too many people know what goes into it. So now we can talk about that. Right. I think we're all on the same page. We want to build a business in the B quadrant. And the question is, how can we do that? Because there's many different ways. I know we talked about network marketing and a little bit how personally I believe it is the best vehicle to get there. Am I right? Not really. Am I wrong? Not really. It's not. There's no right or wrong. It all depends on your starting point, the context, and there's a lot of things that go into it. But I want to talk about a little bit more about some of the other ways that you can succeed in the B quadrant. The first one is through traditional business, and I think this is a little bit closer to what you were talking about earlier about wanting to start your own business in biotech, learn about different things like that. Which I'm not saying you can't succeed in that. Obviously, yes, you can. Most people have gone to be very successful in that field. But once you realize what it takes to get to that point, now it gets a little bit harder because what you need that original idea, right? You need to start from the ground. I mean, I can tell you're someone who's pretty creative, right? I'm sure you can come up with a lot
Yes.
of good ideas.
Yes, I
I
have a
cannot.
lot. I
You
have a
have a
lot.
lot. I hope you do,
Yeah.
right? Another thing I hope you have is the capital and investment to make those ideas come to life.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that I see people are missing. That's why you see, yeah, you ever watch Shark Tank before?
No, but I've heard about it and now I'm starting to understand what it is. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's where people have their idea, but the one thing they don't have is the capital. They don't have the money to make this idea come to life, to turn into everything they thought it would be. So they go onto Shark Tank, they pitch their idea to these investors and basically ask, can you help invest in my business? I need capital. And usually that's what everybody is missing.
Mhm.
Then the truth is, not all of us have such the best chance to get on a show like Shark Tank or
Yeah.
access to these $1 million investors that can help us out. None of us really have that. So that's what makes traditional business just so much more harder compared to everything else. The capital, the unique idea, the expertise. Oh my God, that was so difficult. And lastly is the amount of time it takes to scale a type of business like that up. Because yes, you can hopefully succeed, make good profit, but how long until you can get to your end goal? Because like I said, when you're starting a traditional business, at first, it's no different than the S quadrant. You haven't built a system yet. You're still getting paid last. And for some people, they like that. They like that type of entrepreneurship. And for me, I say, yeah, go ahead. If that's your type of thing, why not go try it? But I just hope that they're aware of what to expect when their business. I hope it doesn't, but if it eventually fails, I hope they understand that this is not something that's rare because it happens to most businesses out there. So with all those headaches combined, I decided that traditional business probably isn't for me. Maybe down the line, like I said, if I have a little bit more money, a little bit more creativity somehow gets in my brain, sure, I can go back to traditional business. Right now, it's not for me. Another way to make a successful system in the B quadrant is by, okay, I don't have an idea to create a new and existing business, a new business, so why don't I just buy an existing, like my own McDonald's, my own Walmart, a franchise, basically. Because sure, I can't come up with anything new, but there's already established ideas that work. So why can't I just, grab one of those and start to be a part of it?
Yep.
It's the same problem because I'm broke, right? I don't have any money. I can't get started on these things. This is something my mentor always talked about, is that there's no such thing as the best opportunity, only the earliest opportunity. And it's a little bit hard to get started on things so early when everything's just so expensive. It just takes so much capital to get started. I'm like, you know how much it is to buy your own McDonald's?
No.
It's $1.2 million in liquid cash.
Oh, that's crazy. What the heck?
I think the three of us together combined don't have 1.2
Nah,
million.
I don't even
I
know.
definitely don't.
I don't either.
Yeah, I hope you have a lot more than me because I'm not contributing much. But
I have $20 maybe.
20 there you go. See, $20. Chris's $30 and my $10. We're kind of far. But to be honest, even if we did have that money, I don't even think I would want my own McDonald's because, again, like I said, one of the most important things I look for is scalability. And when it comes to buying a franchise, it's kind of hard to scale that type of business up.
Yeah.
Because let's say you had your own McDonald's and it was so successful. And I'm like, wow, Nevaeh, your McDonald's making a lot of money. Can I start one? Can you show me how to get my own McDonald's? There's not much you can really do to help. The only thing you can do is like refer me to like the McDonald's headquarters So I can go to McDonald's school. I can learn how to start my own McDonald's, pay my 1.2 million, and then I get my own McDonald's. But you can't benefit anything from that. The only way you can scale up your McDonald's is if you buy another one,
Yep.
another 1.2 million. Sure, it's a lot easy. Hopefully, it's a lot easier if your first
Hopefully.
McDonald's is successful and nothing goes wrong with it, right? Hopefully, it should be easier. But in reality, it's a lot of things go into that. So with that difficult scalability, that's why it wasn't something that so interested me. But then now we get into network marketing. And before I talk a little bit more about how it works, low startup costs. Finally, something I can get started with, right? No, really, because I actually started my business when I was 18 years old in my first year of college, when I was a freshman. Here, I study at San Jose State, which is I know you're down there in SoCal, but I'm in San Jose. It was in my first year, 18 years old. I think I had less than $20 in my pocket at that time, right?
We had like five.
Yeah, right. But even with that $5, I think I used it to get on the bus so I could go back home. But I didn't need to spend so much because when it comes to starting a network marketing business, you have the opportunity to partner with different network marketing companies. And through that is how it has such a low startup cost. Another thing that it has is existing platforms, products, and services. Another thing that I need to help. Like I said before, I am not very creative. I'm not someone with so many good ideas, but thankfully I don't need to be, because when I partner with the right network marketing companies, they take care of all that for me. Because it's hard, having a new and original product that came up, it's never been done before, and it's continuing to get better each and every single year. It's a big headache. It's a big thing that you need to deal with, but thankfully, the companies that I partner with take care of it for me. So that gives me more time, more peace of mind to focus on growing my business. That makes it a lot easier, right? And then finally, one of the last things is scalability, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about. But now we can talk a little bit more on how exactly network marketing works. Because when it comes to network marketing, it's a combination of e-commerce and franchising. Did you talk about that with Chris at all? Does that sound familiar? E-commerce
Yeah,
and franchise?
a little bit.
Yeah? Okay. So I can kind of go into a little bit more because, when it comes to e-commerce, well, let's just start with e-commerce first. You can see it's kind of the best way to build business nowadays, right? You don't need like when it comes to e-commerce business, they leverage two things. Those two things is one, technology, which is, I don't need a physical storefront. I don't need so many employees on the spot. I don't need, a big inventory of products, because I can leverage technology and be able to run my business with my iPhone, right? With my computer. It makes things a whole lot easier. The second thing e-commerce businesses leverage is networks. And this one's a little bit more important, because how can these e-commerce businesses, like I mentioned before, we are focused on building a system. And when it comes to leveraging networks, that is probably one of the easiest ways to do so. If you look on the bottom right, you can see all of these different e-commerce businesses that have actually taken over this world. Like Uber, for example. They're the largest taxi company in the world now. Do you see taxis around recently?
No, maybe
Not
once
much.
every
No,
like
they're all gone.
year.
Yeah,
real.
no, yeah. They all went out of business because of what?
Yeah.
Uber and Lyft, right? So here's the crazy thing. Uber is now the largest taxi company in the world. Do you think they own any vehicles?
No, they don't need to.
They don't need to. Why don't they need to, though?
Well, because they make their money off people. People have cars and they can drive people places, and people need to be driven to places.
Exactly. So they leverage networks.
Mm-hmm.
What are Uber's two networks? Someone with a car who needs some money, and someone who needs a ride and is willing to pay for one.
Exactly.
What does Uber do as an e-commerce business? They're just a middleman. They're in the middle and they bridge the gap between the
Yep.
two. That's it. Airbnb, same thing. Largest rental property company. They don't own any real estate, but they leverage those two networks. Someone with a place who needs some money and someone who needs a place to stay and is willing to pay for one. Bridge the gap. Boom. That easy, right? And so if I told you, let's say you ordered an Uber and I was your driver. I got 94% of the money that you paid, and the company Uber only made 6% of that money. Who makes more money?
And Chris asked me the same question.
Uh-huh.
Well, Uber makes more money.
Uber. Why
Yeah,
though?
because if you're the driver, you have to drive so many people to be able to make the money. But Uber has like millions of people driving for them,
Right.
so
Exactly.
that's scaled by so much more.
So you can see this is how e-commerce businesses operate. It's the same philosophy. Leverage two things, just technology and networks. That's it. That's the only two things they leverage. Now, to take it a step a bit further to talk about how exactly network marketing works on top of that. Because like I said, through e-commerce and franchising, that's how we build up the platform. But network marketing is a whole different idea that we use on top of that. So to kind of break it down for you, how exactly it works is that these businesses, they spend millions of dollars every single year on different forms of advertising. And the ugly truth is that they're wasting their money because it's not very effective. Like if I were to ask you, when was the last time you bought something from a YouTube ad?
I don't know if I've ever done that, honestly.
I don't think I've ever watched a full YouTube
I
ad.
just spam it. I skip it.
'Cause
Like,
I will always skip it every single time. I will skip it, right? Okay. What about a billboard? You ever been driving on the freeway, you see a cool billboard and you pull over to check out what they got?
No.
No way, right? Maybe I'll look at it if it has like a funny design,
for
but
like a
other
Yeah.
than
second.
that, no.
Yeah, I'm not pulling
Yeah,
over.
I'll look at it for a second. Or what about those pop-up ads that you get while scrolling or while doing something on your phone,
Just
right?
They annoy
roll,
me. I don't want to see
roll right
that.
past
Yeah,
it.
they annoy me. Exactly. I like they make the X in the corner so tiny. Like
Yeah.
my big finger, I can't even press on it. But like I mentioned before, these companies they spend millions of dollars on these little ads just for people like us to just skip over it, to not even look at it. Pretty ineffective, right? So then this is how network marketing comes into play because these businesses realize that they can make a lot more money through paying a prosumer.
Yep.
And what a prosumer is somebody that excuse me, that uses different products and services and shares them out to people through different forms of advertisement, but basically they rather pay a prosumer than these different forms of advertisement. So basically, as a network marketing business owner with the opportunity to be a prosumer, partnering with different companies, is how you can basically scale up your business. It's something that maybe not may sound so familiar, but it's what people are doing every single day without even realizing. Like if I were to ask you right now, what type of phone do you use?
I have a Samsung Galaxy Fold.
Okay. Why though? Why Samsung?
Well, I don't like Apple because you have to pay for all these little tiny things and it's annoying.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Really? So they got like all these extra charges, right?
Yeah, I don't
All
like
these
that.
extra
Yeah.
expenses. Okay.
Mhm.
I think I know what you mean because I have an iPhone right now, and they're always asking for like what 99 cents, a dollar
Yeah.
99
I'm not
cents.
spending that. I don't care what it's
Yeah,
for.
they,
I'm
they
not
ask a
spending
lot from you. It does get annoying. So you know
it.
what? Tomorrow I'm gonna go buy myself a Samsung because I
Really?
don't want to deal with it. Yeah, I will. Actually, I know my family. They all have iPhones. They deal with the same thing. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
buy them some Samsungs as well.
Nice.
So yeah, nice, right? So tomorrow I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna buy 4 Samsung. You just help that store sell 4 Samsung phones.
That
You
cool.
did. Yeah,
Oh,
that easy, right?
yeah, that's nice.
Did you make anything from that?
No,
And how do you feel about that?
not as good now.
Right.
Exactly.
It's true though, because even if I ask you a different question, like what's a good movie I should watch recently? You're gonna
Um,
advertise for a movie,
yeah,
right? Or if I ask you what's a good place to eat over there in LA, you're doing free advertisement for a restaurant.
yeah. Mm,
Same thing you just did for Samsung. And like I said, people are doing this every single day. Whenever they
mhm,
post something on their story or they tell something to their friend, they do it every single day, but hardly any people are getting paid for that.
mm. That
So
makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense, right? So
It
as a
makes a lot
network
of
marketing
sense.
business owner, you partner with different companies, and when you're able to share their products and services, is where you have the opportunity to make compensation, to finally earn through that different form of marketing. Because the truth is, I mean, people trust people. I mean, we can agree on that, right? Because when you see an ad out on the street, let's say an ad for let's say Apple, for example, they're gonna say all the good things about their iPhone, right? All the benefits, all the what this does, this feature, that feature, whatever it is. But I want to know about those things that you mentioned before. These are they going to charge me anything? On top of that, are they going to keep bothering me for my money? That's what I want to know, and I know they're not going to tell me. I trust you though, right?
Mm.
I trust you. We're going to tell me if Samsung was a bad phone, I think you would tell me that too, right? You wouldn't want me to get one, yeah. So I trust you more. That's why you see people, they go on, like when they go to eat, they look at Yelp, different reviews and things like that.
Mhm.
It's true though, because people trust people and people move products. So basically, this is the philosophy that network marketing is built on, and it gives people an opportunity to earn through the things that they're already doing on a day-to-day basis. Does that make sense? Any questions here?
Um, Also, like overall, like it's just someone partners with a network marketing
Mm.
company, and that company has a certain product that they sell or certain products, and that person they tell
Mm.
other people about that product to get the people to use that product or to just pass it on to other people or both.
Yeah, both or
Mm,
whatever works, right? Eventually, right? I mean, the only way you can make money is it's no different. E-commerce is no different from any other business out there. Well, where you have to make sales, right?
mm,
There's no business without the sale of a product and services, and it's no different with e-commerce and network marketing.
mm.
Does that
Okay.
kind of make sense?
Yeah, I understand it better now. Yeah.
So this, like I said, this is something that people are already doing and can get started on right away. So it makes it easy for me as well as a college student, still going to school, still working my job, to make a little bit more money on the side from some of the things that I already do. It
Yeah,
works out pretty well for me, right? Now it
that's
makes
good.
it a lot, like I said, now it's not just this one source of my job's income to get me towards my goal of investing. Now it's my job and my network marketing business. Two
Mm,
things working together to my goal. So now we can talk a little bit more on how exactly you can make money in a network marketing business. Because I know you mentioned a good point that I wanted to talk about as well. Is because, yeah, when you do partner with a network marketing company, you do have access to their products and services. And I
mm,
saw something that you mentioned. Is it just a product or different products or different
mm,
things? And that's something good that you should ask questions about. We're not going to dive too much deep into it right now, but I do want to let you know about what are those things you should look out for. They should pay very close attention to, because, like I said, you have the opportunity to partner with different network marketing companies, but how do you know which one you should partner? Which
Mm.
is the right one. the right one. What I define as the right one is which one will get me to my goal fastest. So I can give you a few things that you should look out for, that you should really pay close attention to. And one of those things is the line of products and services.
Mm-hmm.
Because some network marketing companies, yes, they will only give you one product line, one thing to focus on. And that makes things very difficult, right? Like if I just had a
Mm-hmm.
one thing, it'll just make the whole process very difficult. So I chose to partner with a company that gives me a variety of different product and service lines to choose from to advertise. And that gives me a little bit more flexibility when it comes to scaling up my business.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that for the companies that we partner with, we focus on daily consumption use products. And there's a reason for that, right? Because if you were to ask me what type of products would I want to sell, let's see, what do I like? I like shoes, right? I'm a big shoe guy. I like selling shoes, or maybe clothes, right? I actually started
Mm-hmm.
a clothing brand back when I was in high school.
That's
Those are the things I would like to sell,
cool.
but it doesn't matter what I would like to sell. To be honest, it doesn't, because it will what I like get me results, will get me a
Mm.
profit. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I did start a clothing brand before, and we went months without anyone buying anything. We
Mm-hmm.
went months
Yep.
with no sales. That's the ugly truth. Because in reality, what made our clothing brand different from anything else out there? Not much. And there's a reason we focus on daily consumption products, because there are certain products that will always be in demand. Like I said, one thing I look for in a business is scalability and sustainability. How
Mm-hmm.
long can my business run for?
Mm.
Because there's other businesses, let's say, uh, or your phone, right? You said you use a Samsung, right? How long have you had that phone for?
I got it new. I think only a year. Yeah.
A year. Okay.
Mhm.
So when do you plan on buying another one?
I hope I don't have to. I like this one now.
Yeah, right. Use
Yeah.
it for a while, right?
Hmm.
Or what about your computer? How long have you had your computer?
I got this one new as well. I think a year. Yeah.
A year. Okay. And
Yeah.
when do you plan on buying another one?
Hopefully never.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
No, same here. I got the iPhone 16 right here, not because I wanted to upgrade, it's because my old phone broke. I
Mhm.
had no choice. I had to upgrade. I had
Yeah.
the 12 before that, and before the 12, I had the 8. Before the 8, I think I had a Samsung. For that Samsung, I had another Samsung, and before that, I had a flip phone. So
Mhm.
it's just my little timeline of phones. But no, the point of me saying that is because I don't buy a phone every year. I don't
Mhm.
buy a phone every month. I buy it when this one breaks. Right. Same
Mhm.
thing with my computer. I've had this computer since high school, to be honest.
Hey, there you go.
I'm about to
Yeah.
finish college. Like, what the heck? I've had this a long time.
There you go.
Mhm.
So when it comes to starting a business, I wouldn't want to focus on products like this, because sure, yeah, everyone uses it, but not everyone frequently comes back for it. And it's a
Yeah.
whole different story when we're talking about daily consumables, because these are everyday use products that everyone has in their house. Everybody uses on a daily basis. Like, let me ask you, do you brush your teeth every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Do
Yeah.
you shower every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I hope so, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I imagine you do, right? Okay. L- Let's say the economy crashes and there's another pandemic going on in the world. Are you still gonna brush your teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still
Yeah.
gonna shower?
Yes.
Yeah, right. I'm still gonna wash my clothes. I'm still gonna work out, use my supplements. It doesn't matter what state of the world is in. I'm always gonna use these products,
Exactly.
and that's what I look for in sustainability.
Mhm.
That, and it's not just you, it's not just Chris or me, but everybody in this world uses these products. So it makes me feel so confident that on my website I have something to offer for anybody at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by a sustainable business. Something that will always continue to run
Yep.
with or without me being there. Now, I told you what products and service line is one of those things you should really pay close attention to. Another thing is not just what they are, but what is the quality of them.
Mm.
And that goes back to my other example. Like I said, what made my clothing brand different from anything else out there? Same thing. What makes this daily consumable different from anything else out there? So that's something you really need to pay close attention to because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to be advertising, trying to sell different products, if the product is not good and you truly yourself don't even like it, people are going to be able to tell that from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not genuine, right? And I feel like that's the reputation that most salesmen get is that, it's not genuine. They're just trying to push something on you. And that's
Exactly.
something I always agreed with, that that's not what sales should look like.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. Because I never try and sell a product to someone. I just share it.
Exactly.
And I want them to see the benefits for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, maybe next time we can talk a little bit more deeper on it to really show you what products and services we focus on. But one thing I can tell you right now is that the business we run maintains a 180-day customer satisfaction guarantee, which is a lot. I mean, you
Yep.
know how
Mm-hmm.
long Walmart gives you?
No.
It's like 30 days.
Hmm.
30 days if you have the receipt
Yeah.
and the
Okay.
product's unopened,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Like all these different rules and things like that. So why don't they do 180 days?
Well, so they don't have people returning their products a lot.
Right. Yeah. But why? So then why are we doing 180 days?
Well, if people return your products, you can learn from it and maybe fix your product.
Not exactly. It's because the reason we give them, like the more time we give them, it gives them more of a chance to return our products, right?
Yeah.
That's why you see Walmart, they only do 30 days because they're like, hey, we want people to return this. Cut off all their days, only 30 days. But the reason we do 180 is because, to be honest, I'm not worried about someone returning my product because I know how good it is.
Mm.
When you see a company does 180 days, that should show you how confident they are in their product line. Because the
Mm.
truth is, not many businesses are.
Mm.
But
Mm.
we most definitely are. I mean, with our products, you can see the process that they go through to get into the farm that they're grown on, to seed that was planted, to the store, the bottle in your hand, whatever it is. All that process is something we're very open about with people, and that's what not many businesses are willing to do. So we're so confident that we'll let someone try something for 6 months. And if they
Mm.
aren't fully satisfied, they have the opportunity to be fully reimbursed.
Yep.
Not many businesses do that.
Mhm.
We do. Right? And I can tell you from my experiences, I haven't had so many people, return products, be unsatisfied, which just makes me feel good, right? But it makes me feel certain that I partnered with some of the right companies.
Mm.
Exactly.
And like I said, that's all something I'm just saying right now. It's something you definitely have to see for yourself when you see our
Mhm.
business plan, not just our business plan, but many different business plans out there. Those are some of the things you should really pay close attention to is the product line, quality of products. And another thing is the opportunity to make retail margin. I kind of got sidetracked. I forgot what we were talking about. We're talking about making money here, right? So back to that point, when you partner with a network marketing company, you should get the products at the cost, which gives you a small gap to make some money through retail margin. Like let's say a can of Pepsi, for example. You know how much it costs to make that?
Mm.
It's only like 20 cents to make a can of Pepsi at the factory. But the crazy thing is, how much do they sell it to you for?
Like $3, so like one
For
can.
exact
And yeah.
now it's $3, right?
Yeah.
And it's only going up.
Yeah.
So taxed.
But do you know why they're able to get away with that?
No, not really.
It's crazy, right? Because if it's
Yeah.
20 cents a meg, I'm like, hey, max I'll pay is like 50 cents. So far, we're
For
still paying
real.
like $3. The reason for that is because you're not just paying for the can of Pepsi. You're paying for everything it goes through.
Yep.
From the manufacturing, the distribution, the advertisement.
Shipping and
That's something
handling.
you pay for. Well, everything is calculated in the price. So that's what turns like a 20-cent can of Pepsi into what, like almost $5 now, right?
The tax
But
and everything.
it's crazy. It's pretty crazy, right? But
Yeah.
basically, yeah, as a partner with a network marketing company, you should be able to get their products at the cost, which means you can make a little bit more money through this retail margin. And the reason I say should is because, like I said, every network marketing company is different. That's why it's something you should really pay close attention to when you see different business plans. Any questions on here?
Not really. Though they have
Okay.
their products that they sell, and just make sure to about to pay attention to like the products that they're selling, how much you can make from the products.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is pretty simple, but like I said, it's just something like make a mental note. Like, hey, I should pay close attention when they show me that, right? 'Cause that's something you really have to pay close attention to. Now I'm gonna talk about some of the other ways you can make money in a network marketing business. The second way is through a performance bonus schedule.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you're able to market and sell these different products, like I said, you're gonna get compensated. You should get compensated for it, right? And definitely through a performance bonus schedule is where you'll get that chance. Now, I can tell you right now, for our business, you get paid based on your performance, not by your position. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Based on it should be that way,
Well, yeah,
right?
it
Because
makes sense. Yeah.
it should be that, right? Because have you ever had a job before?
Yes, I have. When I was 14.
When you're 14? Wow, I started working
Yeah.
at 14 too. Wow.
Oh, that's nice.
Well,
That's nice.
yeah. What did you work as?
I work. Do you know the Grove here in
The
Los
Grove?
Angeles? It's like a shopping center, and they have a farmers market. And in the farmers market, they have a toffee and candy store, like homemade chocolate store.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I work there.
Oh, okay. So some
Yeah.
customer, and they employed you at 14, or was it because like you knew someone that worked there?
Well, I knew someone, but their whole thing was that they were giving teenagers a chance to get work experience. So I was just very lucky to find them at the
Okay.
time.
Yeah, that is very low,
Yes.
right? Because not many places are willing to hire 14, right?
Oh yeah.
And no, when I got hired at 14, I actually lied about my age because I started working at a Taco Bell. The Taco Bell I lived close to, and I told them like, yeah, I'm 15 and I'm actually turning 16, knowing I was 14 turning 15. So I kind of lied a little bit, but just because my family was broke, I needed to make money.
Yeah.
But basically, the reason I tell you that, and I'll tell you from my experience, because when I was working at that Taco Bell, they had me at the drive-thru, and it got very busy, right? It always get packed, lunch rush, and things like that. And I would be working so hard, and it would just make me so mad every time I saw my coworker on their phone. You know what I mean? You ever gone through something like that? Yeah, I'm like, we're packed with people, and you see them messing around in the corner, and I'm just like it made me just so infuriated, right? And I wanted to go complain so bad, but I realized it didn't matter. Why? Because we got paid the same at the end of the day.
That's crazy.
It didn't matter how hard I worked or how little I worked. Either way, we both got paid the same. So I was like, maybe I should have been the one on my phone, right? Why am I trying so hard?
That was me.
Basically, yeah, right. He was the guy on the phone, right? No, yeah. But basically, yeah, it's something that never sat well with me. So that's why when I performed, I wanted to be rewarded for that. So
Mhm.
thankfully, when it comes to our business, like if this is something that's easy for you, if you're better than me at, if you're better than Chris at, then we're not the ones that'll tell you you won't make more money than us. Because based on
Mm.
our performance bonus schedule, you get paid based on your performance,
Mm.
meaning you get compensated a whole. Like I said, that's how it always should be, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not, but that's how, like thankfully right now I work in sales and we make
Mm.
commission, which is yes, when I do good, I can get paid for it. So it's
Mhm.
something I always look for, and it's no different from a network marketing company, a network marketing business. But the compensation and the different percentages vary from company to company. So that's another thing you should look really closely on what exactly the performance bonus schedule looks like.
Mm.
Um, that's something else you should pay close attention to when you see different business plans.
Mm-hmm.
But those two ways to make money are more on the e-commerce side of things. Now we're transitioning a little bit more on the franchising aspect of it. Remember, I talked a lot about scalability before,
Yeah.
and we're able to scale up our business through the leadership bonus. Now,
Mm.
we're going to talk very, very deeply about this part. This part's a little bit more important. So you notice so far that at this point you're going through a selection process,
Yes.
and it's not just you, right? It's not like something you have to go through. It's because everybody that's looking to be a partner with us, earn the mentorship, they have to go through that selection process. Chris went through it. I went through it as well,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and basically, let's say our example, because well, I helped Chris through the selection process when he was a candidate in our process. I was able to help him. And now, when he's able to launch and grow his business, is where I can make money by helping him through a royalty fee. And what a royalty fee is, like, let's say, like a 6% bonus that I can get from Chris's business from helping him launch, helping him succeed.
Mhm.
Now, this is something that you can continue to scale up with different organizations in your business. And that's how, I mean, like I said, as long as you're building it the right way with the right
Mhm.
people, you should have yourself a sustainable long term business. And that's kind of like the vision that I see with Chris and other people that I partner with.
Yeah.
But basically, you have that same opportunity to franchise your business out, take people through a selection process to evaluate can we be business partners together? And
Mhm.
if they're the right business partner, I'm gonna talk more about that in a bit. Then once you help them grow and succeed, is where you can benefit from their growth through a royalty fee. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah.
So now, this is something I really want to talk more in detail about. Because let's give you this example right here. Let's say right now you're going through a selection process, right? A few steps to evaluate if you can, if we can be the right business partners for each other.
Mm.
For this example, let's throw that all out the window.
Mm.
Just throw it all out the window. No more process. You're done. Congratulations. Big party, big celebration, whatever, right? But basically, what you can sign up for our business, get access to the platform, the products and services, and basically you have the opportunity to start making some money. So let's say right now, let's say after this meeting today, you can sign up.
Mm.
I want you to take a guess. How, because of you signing up, how much money do you think Chris made from that?
Um, how much money did I think he made from that?
You can just take a guess, yeah. By
Well,
you signing up.
if it doesn't take money for me to sign up, then none,
None. Okay. So Chris gets nothing.
I think.
Yeah, just to get, I'm gonna tell you how much it is after. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Another guess. How much do you think I made by you signing up? Since I'm the one that helped Chris, right?
Well, if it's the leadership bonus, then you're making something, but I don't know how much.
Okay. Now I can tell you how much it is.
Mm.
So Chris, you got it right. It is zero. But
Oh,
not for that reason. It is zero, but he does also make nothing by you signing up.
okay.
Now me, I also make zero. You sign up. We both make nothing.
Okay.
Now, so then how do we benefit? We have to help you make money. Because we
Okay.
don't benefit until you benefit.
Mm.
Because up to this point, I mean, let me ask you, have you been charged anything? Has Chris asked you for any type of money yet? I hope he has.
No.
He's that
If
type
he
of guy
did,
too.
if he did,
He'll
I think
ask you for,
they would have been like, "Don't touch me."
yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah, he's that
crazy.
type of guy. He'll try to take like
Nah.
5 off you. So yeah, be alarmed, right?
You
Okay,
said that
up
you
to
were
this.
the type of guy to ask that.
What I tell you?
Oh,
What
really?
did I tell you about that? I
Okay.
told you to watch out. I said he was gonna say that.
Funny guy. All right. So, okay, but no, that's a good example. If anybody, me or Chris or anybody, asks you for money, you should consider that a red flag.
Okay.
But basically, back to what I was talking about is we don't make any money until we help you make money. Because in this business is a win-win situation. What does that mean? I don't want you to just sign up for my business. Sure, I would love to expand my business to new people, but how do I know you're someone who's going to honor your side of the partnership?
Mm.
Because, like I said, I have to help you succeed. What does that mean? That I have to invest my time and my efforts into helping you grow your business, grow yourself. So that's me on my side, investing my time and effort into someone.
Mm.
But how do I know you're someone who's going to honor your side of the partnership? Because I'm not going to invest my time and effort into someone that doesn't even care. That's not even serious about building a business. It's just wasting my time, right? I'd rather go spend it on someone who's more serious about building a business. That's why we take people through a process to really evaluate if we are going to be the right business partners. Because if we're not, then that, saved me a lot of time and effort that I spent on you. Because I
Mhm.
could have go spent that on someone else that's really serious about building a business. So basically, like I said, that's why we're looking for the right business partners. Because even if you sign up for my business right now or whenever it is, I don't make anything. I don't benefit until I help you benefit. So if you were to ask me, I want you to make more money than me. I want you to be able to sell more than me, right? Because that's
Mhm.
how I can benefit, right? But
Yeah.
right now, at this point, I mean, like you said, you don't have much experience with business, right? You don't
Yeah.
have much experience with sales. So what does that mean? In order for you to succeed, then we're gonna have to help you. We're gonna have
Mhm.
to teach you some of the things we know, some of the strategies we've learned. But
Exactly.
the question is, are you willing to learn it? Are you willing
Mm.
to work with us to be able to be mentored?
Yep.
Some people are, some people are not. Our process is a chance for us to see that from somebody.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's pretty much why we take people through a process. Now, let me ask you, do you have any questions about this part? Any thoughts that come to mind?
Yeah, for performance bonus, like,
Uh-huh.
what's the criteria? Is it based on like who determines whether your performance is good or not? The
Mm.
custom.
So it's based on not exactly by customers. It's not like they leave like reviews or anything, but it's based on revenue, which is
Okay.
what in terms of products sold,
Oh,
products
overall.
Mm.
sold. Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
but the way you get compensated, like I said, is different for every company. So that's something, like I said, that you really want to pay close attention to when it comes to seeing different business plans out there. So that's what it looks like based on the performance. Like I said, maybe next time we have the opportunity to show you our business plan, it's where you'll get to see the numbers in specific. It's a lot of numbers. Yeah, I know it'll be pretty
Yeah.
overwhelming. So I don't expect you to get it like first try. But like I said, if you do
Yeah.
ever have any questions, then you can feel free to come ask me, ask Chris. We can definitely help explain it to you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, on the leadership bonus, any questions there?
Well, I was thinking like, what happens if someone's network business, like if the people who they partnered with, what if they just decide, I don't want to do it anymore?
That's
Can
a
they
good
do that?
question. That's a good question. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing really that you can do about it, right? Because I mean, I'm not forcing anyone to build my business with me, right? It's not like I have a gun to Chris's head and I'm like, hey, you have to do this much in sales. Like, no, nothing like that, right? But it's that's why I take this time to evaluate if someone is the right business partner before I offer them anything or invest any time into them. I really want to see if they are the right person.
Exactly.
But the thing is, not every business does that. And that's why you see a lot of network marketing businesses actually fail. It's because they don't spend their time. They don't spend their effort to evaluate people. Instead, they just want people to sign up and join the business. Now, this is something serious I want to talk more in detail about because, I don't know, there's like different misconceptions that people have when it comes to what type of business that we're running. I wanted to ask you, have you ever heard of like a pyramid scheme before?
Oh, it's a while ago. I don't think I can explain it, but I've heard of it.
But
Yeah.
you've heard of it, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have an idea of what it looks like, right?
I think that was so long
It's
ago.
so you had experience with one before?
No, no, like just hearing about it was so long ago once I
Oh,
heard about
okay.
it. So,
Because I do have experience with one, and I want to share with you about it. Because, well, basically, to explain to you what it is, it's an illegal business model. And this is something that people don't like. For people that are just new in business, it's not something they really think about. But it's true that there's illegal business models out there. And basically, what a pyramid scheme is where the person at the top makes the most money, and the people below them don't have a chance to make that much. That's what a pyramid scheme is. Now, when I tell you about my experience with one, I think you can have a little bit of a better idea of what it looks like. So my experience was actually when I was in high school, in my senior year, actually, because back in high school, I played football, and it was during our off season. We already finished our season. It was in my math class. It was one of my old teammates. He came up to me and he was like, Tona, guess what? Bro, you'll never believe it. I promise you, if you give me $500, I will triple it in 2 weeks.
You believed him?
Huh?
You believed him?
No, I didn't give him any money.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't give him any money because that's very suspicious, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, like, what are you gonna do with the 500? How exactly do you plan on tripling it in 2 weeks? Like, it's nothing I've ever heard of. And basically, he didn't want to answer any of my questions, which I was like, okay, whatever. I just kind of brushed him off. No, I'm not giving you any money. But some people did give him money. Some of my other football players, some of our other friends, were giving him money, and what they were in a pyramid scheme. So basically, the guy at the top was getting all the money, and then him and all the friends that he recruited were getting scammed. And then what happened?
He was
They
getting
all
scammed?
found out, huh?
Even your friend who was saying, give me money
Yeah.
was getting scammed?
Yeah, even him, the
Oh.
one that was, telling, but he was getting scammed too.
Uh-oh.
Because what? He paid the 500 first. He paid the 500 first, and then he's like, okay, how can we get more 500? Go tell your friends, they'll give you 500 too, and then that's how we can grow this business. So it was like that's basically what I mean. The guy at the top starts like that endless flow of scamming people, of taking their money and promising something big in return. And they all found out, hey, we're getting scammed. They all quit, and the whole thing fell apart.
Yeah. That's horrible.
So that's that is horrible. Exactly. It's so horrible that it's actually illegal.
Yeah.
That these types of business models are actively being shut down by the government on the daily.
There's that
And
many of them?
what was that?
There's that many of them around?
No, yeah, there is, and a lot of them have different tactics, different ways of basically trying to get your money, trying to recruit you in their business. So the reason I talk about that is because that's what I meant by people have misconceptions on what exactly that means compared to network marketing, right? Because I told you right here in this leadership bonus is where you have the opportunity to franchise out your business. And then that's where people be like, huh, so basically I join your business, you get a percentage of my money. Isn't that a pyramid scheme? So they have those misconceptions. And basically I answer them because I know how to differentiate an illegal business model versus a legal one.
Mhm.
And that's something I'm very open on talking with people about to explain to them how our business is different compared to a pyramid scheme.
Correct.
And that's what I want to talk about as well, because like I said, it's something that people never even thought about before. Like they'll just join any business like blindly and not even realize, what are those things they should look out for. So I'm going to tell you what are those things you should look out for to really determine is a business a pyramid scheme. The first one, which you already kind of talked about a little bit earlier, is are they asking you for any money?
Okay.
Right? So that's
Yeah.
why I wanted to make sure if Chris wasn't asking you for anything. I know I'm not gonna ask you, right? And you can take my word or not, but you can see it through my actions, right? If like I said, if I ever ask you for money, be alarmed. Chris ever ask you for money, be alarmed, because that's not the type of business we're running,
Exactly.
right? That's the first thing.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I only had $5 in my pockets. If they wanted it, you just take it, right? But no, I'm just kidding. They let me keep my $5. But anyone, like I said, literally anyone asking for money, be alarmed.
Yeah.
But now, in terms of the business model, the number one thing, the most important thing you have to look at to understand if a business is running an illegal business model or not is their primary source of income. How does this business make their money? That is the number one thing that'll tell you.
Yep.
Because when it comes to a pyramid scheme, they make money based on recruiting people. That's how their business generates money, through the recruitment of people.
Mm.
But when it comes to our business, or how it should be for any business out there, the primary source of income should be through the sales of products and services.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about that a little bit more. Like I said, this is a time we can be transparent. If you have any questions, I can definitely answer them here. I wanted to ask you, up to this point, have you felt recruited?
Um,
And you can answer honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you guys make it clear that there's a process, so I know that
Right.
I'm only like 20% of the way
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay. So I can see you have common sense,
Okay.
because yeah, that's what it is. Because people think that the recruitment is so bad. Because let's just say right now, let's say yes, it is recruitment. If we're talking generally, it is recruitment. But recruitment happens so often. Like your school recruited you. You see Merced, right? They let you apply for free. That's recruitment.
Hmm.
Your job is going to recruit you. So the question is not about the recruitment, it's about what comes after. Exactly like you said. Because when your school recruits you, you still have to upload your transcript. You
Yep.
still have to upload those essays. I know those UC essays, right? Spend a
Oh,
lot of time
I
writing them.
worked so long on those.
Yep.
Yeah, right? You
So
have to
long.
spend time doing that.
Hmm.
Same thing for your job. When they recruit you, you still have to go to an interview. Probably like a full round of interviews, to be honest. Same thing for our business. Like you said, even, let's say we recruited you. You're not guaranteed anything at this point. Like you said, there's still a process that we take people through to understand if we can be the right business partners. So it's not about the recruitment. If I wanted you to to join our business, or if Chris wanted you to join our business, we would have done it the last time you guys met, right?
My mom
We
was
would have done.
telling me,
Yeah,
she was
right. We would
like,
do it
watch
right
out for
now,
those
honestly.
guys.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
should just close this slideshow right now so I can sign you up right here, right? No, but seriously, like you should ask yourself, why do we spend our? Well, I kind of answered it earlier, right? But why are we spending our time like for this right here? I'm not getting paid anything for this, right? I'm not getting any type of money. Even if you sign up, I don't get anything.
Mhm.
But like I said, I don't want you just to join our business, but I want to
Exactly.
know, am I doing business with the right person? Because I'm not going to make any money until I help you grow your business. So that's the one thing you can see in different. Because the reason I asked you that is because when it comes to those pyramid schemes, when it comes to signing someone up, is where they would get some type of bonus. Sometimes that's why I asked you that question earlier. How much do you think we would make if you signed up? For us, it's nothing because we don't run that type of business. But for those type of businesses, they would get like what, a $500 bonus by you signing up. If you get some of your friends to sign up, it'll be $1,000 bonus, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, that's when it comes to those businesses because they just want to make money based on recruitment.
Exactly.
That goes back to another point that I mentioned to you when it came to the products and services. Not just do they have them, but what is the quality of them? Because if you see a business and their product sucks, I mean, you would probably ask yourself, how is this business still making money? How are they still in business? And
Yep.
a lot of the time, it's fair to say that because their primary source of income is not through that product,
Yeah.
it's through recruitment. So, like I said, those are the things you should look out for. And this is probably the biggest one that you should look out for. Another thing, sustainability. Like I mentioned before, these pyramid schemes are illegal and are always being shut down by the government. Now, some of the businesses that we partner with have been around since as early as 1959. From then until now, you think they went through some type of allegations, some type of accusations, people saying this, people saying that. Definitely, right? Like it's the world, right? People are always saying something. But the fact that they're still here, that people said these things, definitely got on the government's attention, right? Like,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
so many accusations, let's go investigate. But they're still here. I mean, common sense, right? Like that should speak a lot, right? So sustainability is another one of those things you should really look out for because, like I said, when it comes to these illegal types of businesses, they're always being shut down
Yep.
actively by the government. So, like I said, these are those things that you should really look out for. So, like I said, I'm just giving you these key points. So when you do see our business plan, you're gonna remember, be like, I remember Tona said, pay attention to how they make their money. Is it through recruitment or is it through sales?
Yep.
Right. So you can, like I said, because for me, I never try and convince anyone to join our business. I never do. I just put the information out there. I just tell them what to look out for. And for
Exactly.
me, I want to test somebody. I want to see how they evaluate information, how they evaluate a business. Because the truth of it is when it comes to, I mean, our generation, Gen Z, people are so easily influenced.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's just the way they are, right? Like people very lack the ability to evaluate information. It kind of sucks, but it's a good test because I mean, my bad. I was playing around with it too much. Okay, let me put it back. But yeah, anyways, like I wanted to say, after seeing something like this, like I imagine you might have some questions, and I do recommend that you do some research on network marketing to really understand it a little bit more. But I can just so you're aware when you do research that you're gonna find a lot of good things. You're also gonna find a lot of bad things,
Yeah.
right? And it makes sense because when it comes to anything successful in the world, that's going to be the case. Like Taylor Swift, for example, right? One of the most popular singers on the planet. Do I like her? I actually do like her quite a bit, right? So she's got her supporters, right? But on the other side, she's got a lot of haters
Oh
as
yeah.
well. So how do you know, what's true or what's not? What I look for in a business partner is someone that evaluates information based on facts and numbers, not by opinions. Because anyone can have an opinion on, let's say, Taylor Swift, for example, right? Is she good? Is she bad? I like her. I don't like her. Whatever it is. I look at the facts, though. And what do the facts say? That she continues to be number one, having top selling albums year after year. Those are the facts. And there's no arguing that, right? Same thing, like if I were to say, when you say you were going to UC Merced, right?
Yes.
Let's say for this example, I think UC Merced is a terrible school. You want to know why? Because
Um,
my brother and my sister went there, and they both failed, and they didn't graduate.
People have
Now,
been telling me that when I tell them, like, or not like that, but they've been saying, like,
uh-huh,
okay, I'm gonna go to UC Merced. They're like, oh, the new school, or oh, that school.
uh-huh,
It's like,
right. So do you think that's fair for me to say?
well, you have you're able to have your own opinion. I'm not gonna listen to
Uh-huh.
it, but you can say your
Exactly.
opinion. Yeah.
But what you should listen to is the facts, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the facts, it says that most people graduate from UC Merced and go on to have very successful careers. Those are the facts. So then
Yes.
why should you get influenced by my opinion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Another thing, yeah, another thing about my opinion is that it lacks a lot of context
Yep.
and not
Mhm.
a lot, and it was just a lot of context. Because what did I say? That I think UC Merced is a terrible school because my brother and my sister failed. What didn't I mention?
Like,
That they
why did
never
they
went to class.
fail? What were they majoring
Yeah,
in?
What
Were
were
they
you?
actually
exactly.
going to their classes, or what happened?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because they weren't going to class. They weren't doing any assignments, right?
hmm
Because I didn't mention that, but also you didn't ask.
Yeah.
So,
I knew I didn't need to ask. I was like, I know what you're
right.
telling me. It's not
Man, there you go.
completely true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't able to evaluate information like that. So
Exactly.
hmm
when they see, hey, a network marketing business is bad, you shouldn't do it, they're like, oh, it's bad. I shouldn't do it. But what do they miss out on? Asking those questions,
Yep. Looking
Yeah.
looking deeper
back.
into the context. And this is what I mean by how easily influenced people are and how people don't look at facts and numbers to
Mhm.
evaluate a business. It's the same example,
Yep.
right? Because the truth is, the network marketing business itself, like I can tell you a little bit on why we have to talk about this, why it has this type of reputation. It's because it's been around for a long time. And throughout that time, people have been using it, like I said, in the right ways. They've also been using it in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
Because the platform itself, it's just a platform. It's just a service where you can use products and services. Like if you look at the facts and numbers, it'll tell you if it works or not. But when you see people's different opinions, now you have to ask yourself, what is the context behind this?
Yep.
And the context is okay, the business model works, but who is behind it?
Yeah.
To ask yourself if this business is being built in the right ways, you need to ask yourself who is behind the business. And that'll tell you a lot more. For example, let's say I had a knife, a very sharp knife, and I handed it to a serial killer. What's he gonna do?
Stab you with it, probably.
Yeah, he's gonna,
Yeah.
and not just me, he's gonna stab a whole bunch of people with it,
He gonna
right?
get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say that same knife, I gave it to a chef. What's he gonna do?
Make food for you.
He's gonna make a good meal. Hopefully some
Mhm.
steak, good, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Same knife, third time. Same knife, I gave it to a surgeon. What's he gonna do?
Perform surgeries.
Right. He's gonna cut someone up, but for the right intentions,
Yeah.
right?
Save
To
someone.
hope to save their life, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So I don't think that the knife is so bad. I think it's bad when the wrong person is holding it.
Mm.
Mm.
And it's the same thing for our business. Because, like I said, if you looked at the facts and numbers, you would see that the platform works. Now, the question, if people are building it in the right way, you got to ask yourself, who is behind it? Who is
Exactly.
running this business?
That's
And
what I was curious about.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like,
yeah, right?
okay, so it's Christopher, then it's
So,
you, but then who's above you, and then who's above that
so
person, and
that's
then
when,
on and on.
exactly. So those are the things you have to look very closely about. Like it's the mentorship. The
Exactly.
mentorship is the one behind the business. So when you look at Christopher, everything that he says, ask yourself, does it make sense? Do I agree with it? Is he
Exactly.
promoting the right thing? Same thing with me. Do what I say make sense? Do you agree with it? Is it ethical? Is it valuable? Right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the videos he sent you. I know he sent you a video of our mentor. When you watch it, yes, there's a lot of good content, a lot of good things that you're going to learn. But most importantly, you should look at the speaker, our mentor, and ask yourself, do you agree? Is this something you would promote as well? Does this resonate with you? And not just that, but any meeting you join, anyone we introduce you to, any speaker that you see, that's how you ask yourself. You know, that's how you understand if we're building the business in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, throughout the process, it gives you a chance to see all of that before getting started into anything, right?
Yeah.
So so you should look really carefully about those things. Like, sure, I might seem like a happy-go-lucky guy, right? But you should really pay attention to the things that I say, and do
Yeah.
you agree with them, right? So, yeah, that's how you can kind of understand if the business is being built in the right way. You want to look at the mentorship behind it. So when you see our business plan, it will be another speaker that'll talk about it. Same thing there. Evaluate. Because yes, we're evaluating you to be a business partner. Same thing for you. You should be evaluating us if we can be right business partners for you. Because it's a business partnership, right? Like, I'm not your boss. Chris is not your boss. No, you're not our employee. It's a partnership. We're all equal. So the only difference is what? Maybe I've been in a little bit longer than you have. And that doesn't mean anything, because if you're better than me, then what? You're going to outgrow me real fast, right? So and that's the truth of why, people choose to spread their negatives on things like that. Maybe last example I want to give you is, let's go back to Uber, right? Let's say you ordered an Uber driver. I was your driver. And when you got in my car, I rolled up the windows and I started smoking a cigarette.
I'm getting
You'd
out
be
the
pretty
car.
mad, right?
I'm getting
Yeah,
out
you
the
get out the car, right? And I bet you're gonna complain too. You're gonna write a bad review. Now,
Yeah.
are you gonna complain about me, or are you gonna complain about the company, Uber?
I'm gonna complain about you and then Uber because why are you hiring people like that?
Mm. I don't think that's really fair though for Uber, right?
Mm,
Because I've had some great Uber drivers that gave me snacks,
The
that
charger.
let me play music. They give you the charger, right?
Yeah.
I've had those type of Uber drivers. So why should they have to suffer based on one thing another person did,
Exactly.
right? Like my parents, they always told me, don't buy an Uber because you're gonna get kidnapped.
yeah,
My
my
parents
mom
always
says
told,
the same thing.
yeah,
Literally.
they always told me that. Why? Because it
Yeah.
happened to maybe a few people, right? That's not what Uber does. It's what that one individual chose to do using Uber's platform.
Exactly.
So yeah, maybe they should, have stricter guidelines on who's able to be an Uber driver. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're so bad. Again, it just comes down to the person behind it.
Behind it, yeah.
But a lot of the time, people they don't want look at that. They just look at the company as a whole,
They
which
just
is
look at
Uber. Or for our example, they look at the business as a whole and say, I couldn't succeed in this business. I spent a lot of time. I didn't see any growth or anything like that. But they don't mention how much time they put in, how
exactly.
much effort they put in, if they
Mm-hmm.
were honoring their side of the
For
partnership.
the
Because no
partnership.
one's going to go online and say, hey, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, that's why I failed. No, people have so much pride, right? It's
Exactly.
so much easier to just blame business as a whole.
Oh yeah.
And sure, it sucks that we have to deal with that. But like I said before, I see it as a good test because, like I said, I have a high standard in what I look for in a business partner in terms of how they evaluate information
Mm-hmm.
and do they make decisions based on facts and opinions. And I feel like something like this is the perfect opportunity for me to see that from someone.
Yep.
So I hope that all makes sense. I can ask, do you have any
Yes.
questions at this point?
Yes. I have two questions. Like,
Yeah,
when
go
you
ahead.
say this is a business partnership, what exactly does that mean?
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, it's exactly what I meant in the sense that I'm not your boss, right? My mentor, who's living financially free, he's not your boss, right? You are not our employee. So if I forced you to be like, hey, Nevaeh, you have to do this much in sales, or you have to come to this many meetings. You don't have to listen to me, right? I mean, I can explain to you why you should listen to me, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you don't listen to me, it's not like I can fire you or anything because I'm not your boss,
Yeah, exactly.
right? It's a partnership, right? But we will explain to you why. Like we're not just telling you things just to make you do it, but there's a reason behind it, right?
Exactly.
And we're willing to explain that reason to you when it comes to anything, right? We can explain why we say it, why we promote it to be that way, so you can ask yourself, will you do it? Are you willingly gonna do it? Because that's the
Exactly.
difference between people always say between a cult and a culture. A
Mm.
cult is where people do things blindly without even knowing why they're doing things.
Exactly.
A culture is knowing why you're doing something and doing it for that reason, right? Like if I said, "Hey, Nevaeh, you have to come to this meeting and this meeting and this meeting," but when you go to that meeting, you don't see me there. You don't see me at any meeting, for example. How would you feel about that?
I'll be like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Or, or,
Exactly.
or what if Chris said, "Hey, Nevaeh, you have to sell this amount of products," but then you see him do no sales? It's
That's
different,
suspicious.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Suspicious.
suspicious, it's
Yeah.
suspicious, right? And it goes down to because we're not your boss. We can't just command you to do things. We're your business partner. So I understand I can't expect you to do anything that I'm not doing as well.
Mm.
It comes to setting that right example and building the right culture. Because when it comes to building a team of people, ask yourself, what type of culture do you want to build? A culture of people commanding each other, you do this, you do that, if you don't do that, I'm going to do this? Or do you want a culture of people willingly doing things and knowing why they're doing things and supporting each other during those times? So that's kind of what I meant of, we're business partners. Like I said, there is no difference between you and me. The only difference is that I got connected to someone successful a lot faster
Yep.
than you did. And that's how they were able to help me start and grow a lot faster, right? But that shouldn't stop you from anything, right? Because let's say you finish the process, you earn the mentorship, you're going to get access to all the things that I get access to. Now, the only factor is, are you willing to put in the same work as I do? Or are you doing more work than me? Then
Mm-hmm.
the question is, am I gonna willing to do more, put in the same work than you are, right? So it's basically an equal opportunity to make unequal income.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say again, equal opportunity for us. It's equal, but we get the same chances, get access to the same things to make unequal income. Our income could vary, like I said, based on your performance.
Yep.
So if I perform less, I'm definitely gonna make less. If you perform more, you're definitely gonna make more, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think all that will be a lot more clear when you do see our performance bonus schedule and see the full business plan. Then you can really put some numbers onto it. Because like I said, I'm just talking a bit generally right now. But when you do see the numbers, it'll make a lot more sense.
Oh yeah.
And then I have another question based on what you said. What would happen if like someone that like in your like in the whole network marketing business, like what if there's someone like over here? What if they say bad things about you? Would that hurt you? Like if you try to
Mm.
say like, oh, this person doesn't do well in their sales or this person is blah blah blah, like would that make you get less money or
Well, I mean, they can say whatever they want, right? Like they're not looking at my paycheck, right?
okay.
At the end of the day, I don't get influenced so much by opinions, right? Because if they're building the same network marketing business as me, then we're in the same boat. Like, we know the same struggle, right? I don't know why you're talking bad about me. I don't see you doing much better, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, it just like when you're building a people's business, it's no different than like people saying this, people saying that. But to be honest, I always ask myself, are you qualified to talk about me in that way?
Mm.
Because someone can say, Tona doesn't know what he's doing. Tona can't run a successful network marketing business. Then I'll ask myself, Where's your successful network marketing business?
Exactly.
You don't have one, you're not qualified to talk to me about that.
Yeah.
Right? But it did remind me of another good point that when you asked that is because when I started off my business, I was very, and you're talking about getting hurt by people's opinions and hearing things like that. When I started off, I was very excited, and I told all of my friends about the type of business I was going to run. I told my family too, and I thought they were going to support me. But in reality, that wasn't the case. Like
That's
all my friends, nah, yeah, it's a true story because all my friends they told me that you're gonna fail, bro. Like, don't waste your time on that. You shouldn't do that. This is better, or you should come work with us. It's a better option, right? My family they told me, oh, mijo, don't focus on that. Just focus on school, right? Don't waste your time. So when I heard those things, it hurt, right?
Oh yeah.
Like especially when it came from the people I care the most about.
Oh yeah.
But then, same thing. I asked myself, are they qualified to give me advice? Because my friends, they're telling me that don't waste your time, don't do that, you're gonna get scammed. But what were they doing? They were working 9 to 5, straight out of high school. No college, nothing, no experiences like that. They locked themselves into car payments. I'm like, what do these guys know about making passive income? Absolutely nothing. Same thing with my parents. Sure, I love them, right? They're my parents. They've done everything for me to get me to this point, but they're still living paycheck to paycheck. I'm like, sure, mom, I love you. I love you, dad, but you're not qualified to give me advice on how to run a business.
Yeah, Christopher said the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because it's true. Because in reality, building a network marketing, not just a network marketing business, any business out there, like I said, you're in that 5%. You're doing something different than the 95%. So you're gonna hear a lot of things from that 95% of you shouldn't do that, you're wasting your time, you should do this instead. So you need to have a lot of mental toughness to be able to withstand that. I mean, it's something all of them had to go through. Like Mark Zuckerberg, for example, when he was in his garage working on Facebook, I bet a lot of people gave him stuff for dropping out of college, right? For not for focusing on that. And if he were to buy into what they said, we wouldn't have Facebook today. So you can see when it comes to being an entrepreneur, like I said, you're doing something different than the rest of the crowd. So you have to be able to withstand those opinions of what they say. Sure, they hurt, but they don't hurt as much when you really analyze who they're coming from, right? Because I can guarantee you, a lot of people tell me that, I feel like what you're doing is sketchy. I feel like the type of business you're running is illegal. And you know what I tell them? Respectfully, I don't care how you feel. Because I look at facts and numbers, and that's how I evaluate a business. I like it. It sounds weird, but I like it when people accuse me of running a certain type of business. You know why?
Why?
Because I know exactly what to tell them and how to show them that I'm not. But the only question is, are they willing to listen to me?
Yep.
Because I can explain to someone, and for them, it'll just go in one ear and right out the other. At that point, it's not even worth my time to explain to them. Like, at that point, it's like I'm convincing them. I never try and convince anyone, right?
Yeah.
But if they I'm okay with people being skeptical. I'm okay with people having questions because that shows me that they're truly trying to understand how this works. I just hope that they're open-minded enough to want to sit down and talk about it with me and at least hear out what I have to say. Because when they are, that's when I'm able to show them. If they're not, they can think whatever they want. Because I'm not trying to convince anyone, right? So, like I said, after today, I think you should do some research. And like I said, you will see many different things. So when you do, make sure to write down anything you see, any questions that you have, any concerns that come up, and come back to ask me about it. Because I can guarantee you that as long as you're willing to hear, I have an answer for you. right?
Okay.
Does that kind of answer your questions?
Yes. Well, and my last question, if it's
Yeah, go
okay
ahead.
to ask you guys,
Uh,
how much time have you put into your businesses yet?
mhm. That's actually a good question. And that's something I wanted to talk about in the next slide when I
Okay.
talked into some of the
Mm.
pros and cons of a network marketing business. I already talked about a few of these, but I'll go ahead and just touch on them really quick before we wrap up. One, low startup costs. Like I said, no one should ask you for money, right? Because I got started at 18 years old, no money in my pocket, still was able to grow my business. Now, flexibility. This relates to the question you just asked because excuse me, my bad. So that's one of my favorite things about a network marketing business of how flexible it can be for someone. Like I said, this is not like a job. I'm not your boss. You're not my employee. It's not like, you have to put in a certain amount of hours every single week into your business. No, there's no certain amount of time. It's only up to you. It's only up to you how much
Mm-hmm.
time you want to put in. But if you're only putting in an hour of your week, you can't expect the result of someone who puts in more time. Like obviously anything that takes time to build up, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take effort. But what I love about network marketing is how flexible it is, that it's something that's not supposed to interfere with what you have going on. Like I said, right now I'm a student right now, finishing up my degree in finance. I actually work 2 jobs in sales right now, and I still have time to build up my business.
Nice.
Chris, I know he's a student right now over there at UC Merced. I know he works a job as well. I know he's like one of the presidents of like one of the biggest business clubs over there at Merced. And I know he has a girlfriend as well. That's a lot of time spent there too, right?
Yeah.
But still, I see him have time to build up his business. So some of our business partners work full time and they still have time to build up their business. So it's not about whatever time you have, because I know you have time. Every human has 24 hours in a day. They definitely do have time. But it's about what time that you make. About what time that you make. It's not about how you manage your time. It's about how you manage your priorities. Because
Exactly.
it's so easy to have a lot of things on your plate, but how do you know which one is getting you closer to your goal? But for that, you have to be clear on your goal, right? Like I talked about way in the beginning, right? So you have to be really clear on what you want and how fast do you want it. Because my mentor, like I said, he retired himself at 22 years old building this business. So, I mean, you can imagine that he spent a lot of time
Mm-hmm.
building his business. So if I want to have results like that, I definitely, should expect to put in the same amount of time, right? But it's like I said, it's not something you're forced to do. If someone wants to, still focus on school, still focus on their job, many other things, then maybe spend a little less time on it, right? But have the right expectation, because however much time you spent, that's going to be your pace on how fast your business grows. So for me, if you were to ask me personally, like I said, I do spend any free time that I make to scale up my business. Because for me, I started giving up some of those old habits like partying, like drinking. Don't get me wrong, I used to do those things, right? And I was willing to give it up to focus on something that actually matters. Oh, my biggest one, TikTok scrolling.
Oh.
That was my big. That was my biggest one. I would spend hours scrolling on TikTok,
It's
and sure,
crazy. Crazy.
it's fun, right? Like I like it, right? But I understood that I could have used that time to be a lot more productive.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was willing to give up that time to focus on scaling up my business. So you can see every time, like when I'm not working, when I'm not studying, okay, any free time that I had, sure, I can use it to grow up my business. I can choose to, right? Because I'm serious about wanting to retire in my young 20s. That's why I'm willing to give up all of these things right now. But
Exactly.
it's different for everyone, right? So it's just something to keep in mind. Another thing is the scalability that I talked about before. Is different for every company, but it's something you'll see a little bit more in our business plan. Finally, the mentorship. Like I said, this one's very important as well because that'll tell you who is behind our business. That's something you really have to look closer in. Now we can move on to some of the cons. I mean, these are frankly pretty obvious, like risk involved. I mean, anything in life, there's risk involved.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Just going to school and taking that traditional route is risky, right? Because a degree is not going to guarantee you a job.
It's not.
So why
Yeah.
isn't that risky, right? Even just standing still on the street, there's a chance you'll get hit by a bus,
It's a
right?
risk.
That's pretty risky. But we're taking educated risks, right? Like I'm not just throwing myself into a network marketing business when I don't know what I'm doing. But obviously, I have access to a mentor who's already succeeded in a business like this, so it makes me feel a little bit more confident,
Exactly.
right? Like I'm taking educated risks. Another thing, not a get rich quick opportunity. Already talked about that a little bit. We're getting rich slow, which kind of sounds bad, but no, we're getting rich slow and sustainable,
Mhm.
right? Like I'm building this for the long term, for
Exactly.
my generation ahead of me.
Hmm.
Loneliness and criticism, I already talked about that one before. Like I said, you're going to hear a lot of different things from that 95%. You just really need to have that mental toughness and the right evaluation on who's giving you these opinions.
Correct.
And lastly, time and effort is required, which I'm like obviously, right? Anything worthwhile is going to take time and effort. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just for this last slide, this is what our selection process looks like. So I
Hmm.
think you noticed that last time you and Chris kind of met up just to get to know each other a little bit
Yes.
more, right? And today, I know he introduced you to me, and we kind of dug a little bit deeper on our business model and how exactly network marketing works. And I told you to have a few things to look out for next time when you see our
Mhm.
business plan.
Hmm.
Okay.
So our business plan is our weekly meeting where we invite a speaker from different all over the country or other countries as well because for our team we're not just local here in California. We're in NorCal, SoCal, Texas, Florida, East Coast, even Canada, like Toronto. So
Yeah.
usually we do them on Zoom, and we invite a speaker to show the business plan for people seeing it for the first time, which would be you, for example. So for that meeting, we can ask to see if we can reserve a spot for you. I think we should be able to, but we can reserve a spot for you so you can be able to join and see the business plan for yourself,
Mhm.
right? And then after that, there's a few more steps when it comes to going over expectations, introducing you to the team, going over a few ROI, return on investment, different objections, and things like that to eventually see if you're able to be offered any type of partnership, right? So that's what the process looks like. Like I said, I think today I gave you a few things that you should look out for. So when you do see our business plan, you know exactly what to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
for our business plan, we do it on Tuesday nights. Tomorrow's Tuesday,
It's
right?
actually tomorrow.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the heck? It's Monday, right? I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's.
Monday. It's
Oh my,
Monday.
I've just been
My
stuck
bad.
at work for like these past few days. I'm literally starting to lose
Mhm.
track of time. Yeah, no, it's Monday, right? So yeah, tomorrow we will have our meeting, which will be on Zoom, like I said, and it'll be at 6 p.m.
It's at 6
Right? It'll be
p.m.
at 6.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Are you available tomorrow at 6 p.m.?
Let me check my calendar and see.
Yeah, because the
Mm.
meeting will be about an hour and a half long, and I think maybe after we can have a little quick follow-up meeting if you have any questions.
Mm.
Um, are you going to be available during that time?
I should be available if
Uh-huh.
assuming that nothing comes up after school. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can definitely let us know. Another thing I did want to let you know is that the meeting will be business professional dress code. So even for the Zoom, right? So for us, it's what the suit and tie. I know it's a little bit
Mhm.
different for women. So do you have that business professional dress code available?
I honestly don't think so. This is like the only shirt that I have that I'd
Uh,
consider business professional. So
is it just kind of like a dress shirt?
yeah, it's just a white button up. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I think that should be fine just for candidates in our process, but
Yeah.
definitely down the line, it's always good make an investment, in your clothes.
Mhm.
For me, I always went to the Goodwill, right, the
Oh
thrift
yeah,
store.
thrift
'Cause,
stores.
yeah, they got the good brands for very cheap, right?
I was
Mhm,
telling Nevaeh
mhm.
how I was thrifting with the guys last time and how
Oh
I
yeah.
actually thrifted this
Oh,
shirt. I got this shirt for a dollar
oh, there you
fifty.
go. See,
Nice.
yeah, Chris is the master thrifter, so you can
Mm.
learn from it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it'll give you cheap clothes over. But I think for tomorrow it should be fine.
Okay.
And then another thing is that there's gonna be a lot of information, so make sure that be willing to take some notes and have some
Okay.
questions. You definitely have some questions we can talk about for
Hmm.
after,
I definitely
but
have
we
a.
can try and yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I just wanted to say, I know we're inviting Nevaeh to the meeting tomorrow, but I know you literally just said this. Like, how am I gonna invite someone and not be there? I have my final tomorrow at the same time, so I might be able to join in for a little bit because I think my final is actually at 6:30. So since it starts at 6, I can still join up. I'll be there for like
Mhm.
the first 20 minutes, and then I'll run to class to do my final.
Okay.
Just so you see like a familiar face in there, so you don't feel like say like alone. If you do
Okay.
end up joining, but yeah, I can definitely join up there and stay a bit longer because I know I just checked my final's at 6:30, so
Okay.
I can definitely join up at 6. You'll see me there, so you're not just there like, okay, the heck, I don't know anybody. I just know Tona, like that's it, and I don't even know him that
Yeah.
much. But yeah, like Tona was saying, white button up shirt's perfectly fine. I remember
Okay.
when I was a candidate in the process. My tie wasn't even like tied the right way. It was a little flimsy tie. It was like this short. It was like you could see it. It was bad. But yeah, no, you should be good. But yeah, just
Okay.
adding on to what Tony said, definitely take notes. Because I remember my
Mhm.
first time I did not understand anything. But then I went back and asked questions. Like, okay, so like I sent a picture. I'm like, Tona, explain this. I don't get this. Like, can you help me? But I actually wanted to ask you, Nevaeh, if you'd be comfortable maybe making like a group chat with you, me, and Tona. I know like we've been texting like
Mhm.
just through messages, but I mean I feel like to kind of like just keep us all in the loop. I think that maybe be a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, kind of lagged out there.
A
You
little
good?
laggy.
Oh,
Oh,
am I
yes.
lagging
Yes, that
now?
would be fine. Yeah.
Okay, for
Oh,
sure, for sure. Oh yeah.
It might be me,
oh, okay. But yeah,
but
I
yes,
think
that
we
would be.
yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up right here so you guys can make that group chat. We'll send you some more information for tomorrow's
Okay.
seminar. Yeah, I think it's starting to lag out. But yeah, I just want to say it was nice meeting
Okay.
you, Nevaeh. I know we
Yes,
talked a
nice
little
to meet you
bit.
too.
It was great talking with you, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's meeting. All right.
Yes, yes. I'm excited.
Okay. I do got to get
Yes.
going now, so I'll let you guys go. But it was nice seeing you, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right.
For sure, Donna. Peace
Okay,
out,
All
dude.
right. You
goodbye. See you
guys.
tomorrow.
How was that? I know it was
That
kind of a
was nice.
lot. It was a long meeting.
I was
I didn't
I
expect
was
it to
nervous
go
at first.
to 10 p.m. My bad. I know this is like
Yeah.
past your bedtime. You're probably tired. I mean, I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw me. I was yawning until like, dang, man, it's kind of going on longer than I expected. But no, that's good though.
Yeah.
I actually like that you asked questions. Because like Tono was mentioning, like
Hmm.
I actually take other people through this process and I show them this. And like, okay, okay. You have any questions? No, I'm good.
I used to be like that,
And
yeah.
and then
But
later they
I
asked me like
realized over
they asked me like
time.
10 questions, and I'm like, all right, hold up, let's one by one. And they just ask like they just shoot them away. I'm like, all right, okay, wait, let me answer this one, but hold up, like hold that
Mhm.
one, but then I forget about that one, and then it's like, so actually, like I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're asking questions, because that shows us, that you're curious, you want to learn about it, this might be something you want to explore. But yeah, just like Tona said, I don't want to keep you here too long. I know you have school tomorrow, so I don't want you to sleep too late. I
Yes.
have my final tomorrow. I still need to study
I'm
for my
fine.
final. Oh man, I need to study still. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll let you go. But I mean, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot me a text. I'll make
Hmm.
the group chat with Tona, you and I, and then I can just send all the information. I can send you like the
Okay.
flyer. I can send you the link there tomorrow, and
Okay.
yeah, we can kind of just stay in the loop there.
Okay. Thank you so
No,
much.
yeah, no worries, Nevaeh. You have a good rest of your night. And yeah,
Yes, you
I
too.
appreciate you staying up. Even though you usually get tired around like 7, 8. So
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you bending that.
I
But
might go to sleep.
you're just gonna
I
knock
might go to
out.
sleep right after.
Gonna knock out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. I'll see you
Hmm.
tomorrow. Yeah, just let us know too if
Yes.
you can confirm too. If anything comes up, just let us know. But yeah, we appreciate
Yes.
that then. All right then, Nevaeh. You have a good night then,
Okay,
all right?
thank you so much for today.
All
Goodbye.
right, bye bye.